time being.
We'll keep talking. Let's take a look at the standings. We'll just bring them up. I want to talk a little bit more about Gaming Legion. What's wrong with people? Everyone was like hating on Gaming Legion on social media.
Rich, it's a classic. You have to overreact. You're like, oh my god, this shit. Everything was a fluke.
Yeah, what was
all those deep runs, like reasonably
people
good
were
runs.
Like saying, Ash is overrated. It's like you do realize
just one event.
Yeah, they were just in the playoffs at Melbourne. I mean, look, I will say this: Duster yesterday called it unforgivable that they went out.
Yeah, Dust.
I would say unacceptable.
Yeah, I know you. I know you got the word wrong.
All right, Reddit, go ahead.
But go on.
No, look, I mean, I think if you're contending with some of the other fellow top 10 teams in the world and making a 5th, 6th place finish at Melbourne and you're making all these playoff appearances, you should not be getting eliminated 0-3, losing to a team that had a stand-in and Hotu, who is one of the lowest ranked, well, is the lowest ranked team in the tournament. Like, I do think that is a little bit unacceptable results, and I think even they would tell you that. In fact, they know it to be true.
They literally
said the same thing.
Literally did.
Now, do I think that they're cursed forever now and that they need to make immediate roster changes and Ash is a fraud? No, none of those things are true. But, you know, here's the problem with Gamer Legion. They didn't make the major to the MRQ. I mean, what are they going to play for now for the next couple of months? You know, I think there's going to have to be some soul searching and thinking about, you know, what the long-term future of this team is going to be.
When I was making my notes for this team, you know, a couple of things I noted was this is an event for them to kind of prove to not just themselves but everyone, being like MRQ, us not making it, that was an unfortunate fluke. We should have been there. It was best of threes or LAN and all those caveats, but here just going bottom last, it does hurt their case. But I think if you just watch, I think it's been solid. I can believe. I'm still gonna hold on to my socks, as Dust pointed out. But that being said, man, I gotta say, if you want to make some changes, now is a good time. There are a couple of players out there to replace Slend, because I don't think Slend's it. I think Slend is just kind of the weak, obvious chink in the armor for this.
When you got Dexter out there, when you got Brokey potentially being out there.
Look at his names.
I mean, do they have the budget though? That's always the problem with Gamer Legion. I think it's like they are rebuilding with not the biggest war chest. So we will wait and see. Let's take a look at the schedule. Remember, it's a PGL event, so of course you have 2 streams. You can pick what game you want to watch. This is what's happening on stream B. You have MIBR taking on Pain. All these Brazilian teams keep running into each other. It's kind of crazy. We talked about G2. They're going to be fighting for their tournament life versus Big. The notorious PIG coming around again. Who knows what's going to turn up there? And NIP, who we talked about yesterday, I think NIP are going to win that one. And it's good for them. They finally got an opponent I think they should be capable of beating. Meanwhile, on the A stream, which is what we're going to be preoccupied with, Navi versus Aurora, that's an absolute banger out of nowhere to end the day. Astralis versus Virtus Pro, we'll be covering that one here. The opening match. So let's start with that then. Praises a little bit. We were a bit dubious about the international lineup. Obviously, you would be. You've always been a Brazilian-only organization. You start bringing in rookie Kazakhstanis and this other stuff, and moving Furia to right, Furia forward to right. You start thinking to yourself, oh, what's happening here? But actually, so far, so good.
So far, so good. And you got to also look at the sort of opponents they played against, right? Against the Mongols, a very, very solid showing in their debut game against a team who, by the way, just went 3-0. And then after that, you know, a couple of good wins coming up. Sure, they lost a couple of maps, but the wins were convincing. And for us, I think the obvious here has to be playing like, you know, it's his 7th or 8th international land. It's incredible stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, he is their top-rated player so far at this tournament, and I think he's the top 10 as far as players at the event thus far. He is the one that has made probably the most adjustments to this, to how he plays with this roster, taking over a lot of Skulls roles, kind of lurking, you know, playing some
Stream karar bulлаганы hep. Stream karar булат Twitch'ке кирәден hep. Ссылка привяжена.
Taking over an entry rifling role. It's allowed Yuri to kind of be able to sit back a little bit more and kind of pick and choose his favorably for himself or just kind of trade in open space. He really thrived in that role on T-side.
Cool. We've spent days now talking about Fury. I think we've covered pretty much all of their games. And yet Quesarado, we just haven't talked about him.
And that's such a great thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We just don't have to talk about Quesarado.
fair, he's
Yeah.
playing
Подбор атымдайлар заметили было анализкалар баллар окуйбадылар. Себя уже показали Диану.
He's just doing the same old thing he's always doing.
Вторую катку на третью катку. Ой, кикс матчтыргы на весь матчтыргы. Уже вообще класс показали Диха.
We saw that come into play against MIBR and Inferno, for example. But let's just touch on this Moldo kid, man. He misses shots, don't get me wrong, but so did Monesi. I'm not trying to compare to Monesi, but you remember Monesi's debut in Katowice back in 2020. This guy's trying a little bit too hard. He has his moment. And this Moldo kid kind of reminds me of, he has so many, these combat opping clutch fast flicks. And
where are you going? I'm going to Chad's house.
Yeah. You doing a show? What, Chad's house?
Yeah. Have you guys seen that new show, Chad's house?
Chad's house. Yeah, I've been watching. I'll tell you what the story is today, Chad. I've just come up with this about 5 seconds before.
Okay.
Yep. NIP.
Right, straight into it.
They're a team, right? They're playing today. And then you've got the other side. We've got Hotu. And they are going to be battling in 2 different ways, right? Because NIP, they've already done this whole VRS nonsense. They climbed up.
They're climbing.
They're in a starter. That's a big boy league. That's where the big boys play.
But they're not in the major.
Yeah, that's the next step.
NIP are a step ahead.
And you got Big Clan G2 today. We've got 2 fantastic best of 3s from Chad's house.
From Chad's house for look, Chad's Counter-Strike.
Does G2 play tomorrow? We'll find out. Do Big Clan get eliminated by G2?
Earth is Hunter.
Gone.
But not forgotten.
No.
We're still talking about him.
We will not stop talking about him, and we will likely see.
Oh, but
so this is today's schedule. We're down to just 3 best of 3s today, and tomorrow there'll be no B stream. So today you can get 6 games over 2 streams. And that's 4 p.m. Those would be the local timings for you in Central Europe if you are joining us on this Tuesday morning. 7 a.m. on the A stream, you'll be getting Furia versus Odic, the Odic journey. Abe's Odyssey, as we're calling it, will continue. Seeing more from international Furia flavor. To take on Spirit yesterday. But and I don't think anybody thought it would have. Donk had to have a massive and we do have Navi taking on the day. And that's going to actually be good stock for Mongolz, who have now qualified for the playoffs. Here you go. This works out perfectly. And Team Spirits. Those are your first 2 teams to go 3-0. 2 of the names that you'd expect to be in the playoffs. And then if I was going to continue to names that you'd expect to be in the playoffs, Navi would be one of them. Aurora would be the other. Both will still have an opportunity even if they lose today. And then after that, it gets a little bit murkier, right? It's pick your poison. It's pick your favorite team because I don't think Astralis or Furia were going to be strongly in the conversation on debut with their new rosters. Astralis have had a pretty mid-year at best. Furia have been on a downward trajectory for a while. In general, like they have good players, but they don't always play the best Counter-Strike. And then after that, the Brazil second people think are good. Me. But they've had so many problems that their results just paint them as this team that's not going anywhere. G2 has the coach. Mongolz and Spirit. Well, let's find out.
Yeah, and you talk about pain as well. Let's not forget that Hotu, the team that we will be bringing the first game of the day, we're a team that lost to them with the coach standing.
Kind of wild, right?
That is wild. It was a 13-8, 13-4, not even close on Nuke. Pain.
Countering
KDO is one who I've seen before on Avantgarde. For a few of them, they're on home soil. I'm going to put it down to first game land. Okay. So they played some pretty damn good because they were able to push Aurora. NIP did the same. And actually eliminate Gamer Legion in 2 there's no joke in terms of what we can expect from this team. Yuka, Lampada, KDO, Mizu, and Duke for Shura. Those are the 5 gentlemen taking to the server. But the man behind them, Mo, previous Gambit player, major winner alongside of Zeus and Hobbit, etc., etc. So, yeah, look, there's going to be at least a big brain behind them ready to drive this team forward. There you can see him just standing behind them.
Кемере çıktı duydu. İyi nerede? Şekin de vatan.
Ya bu ne bu?
Çok öyle.
Çok öyle.
Çok kıymaz da ça.
Çok öyle.
Çok kıymaz.
Bilemiyorum. Nikta olmadı.
Çok kıymaz canım ve dakmın demin.
Denmark and then a bit of a Ukrainian flair down the end.
Oh,
there,
yeah.
the AWP player. Highest rated
Пока
player for
погода.
NIP with this
Погода,
roster.
Алексей.
Coming in second is
Чисто,
Shush, the man
вот,
in the middle
таблетки
is
селен
String
говорю.
from heroic fame. He
Охотра.
got the bung end of the deal at the start of the year.
Yes, certainly, but it looks like things might
Papillon
be
дрова.
turning around
Papillon.
just a little bit. I do feel like Snappy has a somewhat of a Midas
I
touch.
see video game number.
That we've seen him before. My mind goes towards the Ents projects, whereby he can turn a kind of ragtag squad
Oh,
into
var det,
something
det var
that
med.
can be competitive at the tier 1 level. We've seen
Daha
that once before,
Hotu.
and I think Wrinkle as well is a valuable asset combined with the
Oh,
Soul
det var
Rifling
dit.
duo. You've got yourself
Men
a
o
really
master iniyor.
solid base of talent. Shush, I think, is a very safe pair of hands. Snappy, as I discussed, and Midas Touch. I think there is a way in which this NIP roster goes on to do very good things.
Hadi
What's
monesi
their-
olur
I was
orada.
looking at it
Bilmiyor
just
musun
before.
monesi?
They've gotten up to 46. in the
Ciddi
Valve
ol.
rank.
Yeah,
Orada.
they'd be good. They'd do good to be a
Pavzan
top
orada.
15 team.
Navigator.
Hotu, Infern'de pick davutlar.
But this is
ban
Pokemon
davutlar
IP
tuyuz.
rebuild. Here's the video
Miraj ban
coming through, so
davutlar.
Hotu are moving Inferno, and
Miraj'ta
IP
kutular
dragging
bu
Rises
bitirece.
of late. Ancient will be map number 1. I thought
Da,
we
Hotu,
coming in from
bu
NIP,
Ascent'in
but
kartını başı bile
gonna
bepim
be
ben.
left to the
Sen
second
Yugo'yu
phase
bilevin.
where Hotu will remove it.
Das 2. Oo, ta Das 2'lı cibe dakika yaş pikin haşı bu da.
Look, we go from
Tak Das 2'nı körüyüm barım
ancient, which can
turnirge.
have it all. It can be technical and slow. It can be fast and in your face. It can be
Daha
fake
mı
heavy
oynuyorlar?
into
Keating
an
Bartı
extremely
bildi.
tactical,
Lucas Dırrı bro.
tactical and technical map.
Yok ne
Put
balıktım
the
da.
two words together.
Technical? No, it just sounded extra Australian.
Extra Australian. On to map number 2, they're going to be the pick of the Ninjas, and the decider is going to be Dust 2. Now, I have a question.
Yeah.
Is Forrest awake this early to do his co-streaming? Because he does the NIP coast. So he is a dad,
Oh, he
right?
might
So
be, you
he
know.
should be used to the early morning. So I beg the question.
Az kişi var oynayan
Is
yana.
Thorpe, one of the legends, awake?
Okay, well, I've done some research, and it is 7:01 in Sweden.
It is 7:01 in Sweden.
That is the time here
Yep,
as well.
yeah.
But I was just double
It's
checking.
7:01 in Sweden.
It's definitely, this is time where we might see Thorpe arrive within an hour or so.
Okay, so he's not on.
Bu çam kabağın nu ondan nu çalı bu çam yak tuğu bu çuak oldu ay kıdı. Ari.
I've said it once, I've said it again.
Did you say it once?
Bu da.
Вот здесь развязочка. Ну, на 3, короче. На 3. Думаете, 3?
А почему не
Ата
Инферно
бugün
типа,
могу
не
что ли
будет?
стримить?
Вторая
Бан аватар демейт. Василий Симсов дрова.
Хочешь,
Я
за
вот,
ним
он ну.
спросим?
Давай.
Мить, набирай.
Ну да, на самом деле, кому звонить? Шнаппи? Шнаппи. Шнаппи
А там
крокодил.
против Фурии, кстати, выбрали Анубис один.
Это ошибка, может быть.
Ошибка?
Да, Фури выиграет Анубис.
Ну, непонятно.
Юр,
Фурия
здорово.
выиграет Анубис в первый день турнира. Вот любого турнира в первый день они выиграют.
Против кого
Анубис.
угодно.
Против кого угодно. Хоть там, я не знаю, хоть там Виталити зайдут просто. Вот их на
Ю-
этот турнир
ютубердер
не зашли тоже.
Ремню
не
храбака
поиграли.
тролльде.
У меня аж плохо стало,
Vivi.
опять. Плохо стало аж Анубис и все такое. Всем еще раз доброго утра. Напоминаю, что самое время открывать тепленькое, наливать тепленькое. И
Базан на работе,
врываемся
наверное.
в пистолет
Бять
раунд.
юного нян багат.
Ниндзя,
Уредер
в
лобалдаем
пижамах
бар.
играют за защиту. И
Тера
Хоту
вот
играет
батлада.
за атаку. И у нас уже, собственно, есть даже
Вот
интересный коэффициент
террордар.
онлайн, но мы на него не будем смотреть, потому что здесь матч не про коэффициенты. Здесь матч про характер, здесь матч про то, как команда Хоту
Радюк.
собирается жить на этом турнире. И, кстати, обе команды играют, к слову, на вылет, обе команды с отборочных.
Фибады кидлер.
И НИП, и Хоту.
Фибады кидлер.
Так
Вы
что...
вчера первый раз за долгое время...
Манна, ты лара шейдер батара. Хорош, блядь, юги.
Погромче, да, кайсик надо чуть-чуть?
Да, мне кажется, да, стоит чуть-чуть попробовать сделать кейс.
Волюме навалить, как говорится.
А
Так, ну, я все вроде говорю,
доси.
я сейчас все слышу, не знаю. Дорогие
Тахман,
зрители,
тахман, тахман.
чат Твича, чат Ютуба, всем привет. Отстройте нас по звуку, пожалуйста. Напишите, как
Брат,
слышно
хангри.
игру, как
Ай,
слышно, Митю, как слышно, Гогу, как слышно, Грома.
А, гибель. Хорош, блядь, мизу нахуй. Ой, извиняюсь.
Гога все знает.
Тебе.
Вот пистолетка что за Хоту? Найс, найс.
Легчайше остался Снапи.
Снапи.
Ну, все.
Снапи. Снапи, снапи. Тинки. О, вообще изи
Хоту
дед.
первый играли, правильно? Хоту вчера первые играли.
Вроде как,
Так,
да.
привет.
Значит, попроще сейчас будут. Они к утру более лучше привыкли, чем не п.
Ну вот что самое интересное, обычно, знаешь, раньше на турнирах было как, вот когда матчи остаются там не 4, а 3, да, первый как-то срезают, чтобы, ну, под вечер команды играли. Здесь наоборот, здесь ПГЛ, здесь убирается последний матч.
Да.
И на самом деле ПГЛ респект. Я уверен, что став чемпионата тоже хочет отдыхать. И вот как раз сегодня, наверное, у них будет добрый вечер, но учитывая, что
Bu
там...
pik, Hotu'na pik tarafta. Ay kral.
Сюда, говорит, тут
Митя,
есть.
ты слышал, о чем
Да,
они
блин.
разговаривают?
Чего
Let's
там?
go.
Хоту.
Не.
Старт дрова.
Кто-то на кого-то вот так смотрит, другой поворот говорит, что на меня смотришь?
Реально?
Да, кто-то клач вперед. Помните, кто-то клач вперед 1 в 3 там, он кричит, да, он говорит, что кричишь? Или что случилось? Что случилось?
Не, молодцы, ребята.
Там такое вообще.
Не, ну не без чувства юмора. И это приятно смотреть за таким
А вообще надо брать на
пока
конкурс?
4 в 4, и команда NAP на форсе, ну, преподнесла чуть-чуть проблем, но это касается только базы Б. Выход с бомбой состоялся
старт
на
это вот
плент,
так.
и НИП надо будет очень долго думать, что здесь делать.
Хорош, лампада.
Можно ставить бомбу, говорит.
Прикольный ник, лампада, да?
Лампада.
Лампада.
Как ламбада.
Ламода.
Юбка тоже классный ник вообще. Ники классные, чуваков. Кстати,
Снайпер.
Миза пробовал играть, или Мизу, пробовал играть в Форзах, и не очень получилось, как вот Дюк Фиссур такой еще был игрок.
Става-то?
Вот, и вернулся Мизу
Ну,
в
ник у
Хоту.
него профессиональный.
А ну вот такой не
Мизу
уйдет,
прям
ребята.
такой там.
Мне кажется, тут Мизу и Йока, знаешь, такие, как будто должны в топ-командах играть.
Юка кого-то точно.
О, Мизуна.
Арафик,
Hayırlı. А так Адео?
Ну,
Это что-то на
Его
немецком?
так Адео.
нет,
по-моему,
сладкий рис.
Сладкий рис, да?
Да.
Сладкий рис, но он где-то так в тир-3 должен кататься.
Ну, бывший тиммейт Мутилиса не может быть в тир-3.
Они, кстати, долго, да, по-моему, в
Окей.
совах играли там.
Ну да.
Прям ультра долго.
Не, но он, именно они с как его, эшкюшки, как пролет каждый раз. Они не так долго
Говори
поиграли.
просто Пинто.
Чей?
Это его
Пинто.
фамилия.
Был такой футболист Жоао Пинту.
О, да.
Был еще такой этот Хули Лопес футболист.
Хули Лопес, да. И Хулио
И
Иглесиас.
Энрике Иглесиас еще.
Да, и бать его Хулио Иглесиас.
Allah'ım be, tane karavolu.
Дядя Рамон.
Ben de sorun. Tadın поебать.
До слез. Помню, танцевали на выпускном.
Поебать. Тура официальный игр бог не имеет тура.
Что, первый бай?
Поебать,
Нет.
тебе надо.
Не.
Главное, корюмба.
Какие-то формилки 1500 бай от команды
Так.
IP. Безинициативный.
Все вот пытался
Дюк.
вспомнить имя этого игрока.
Не появляется
Фамилия
в игру.
такая,
Камеру
да,
лахари.
Мишель.
Хорош, Мизу.
Мишель.
Не.
Может быть, Майкл?
Может, ну, реально Майкл?
А может
Миш?
Майкл.
Миш.
Не, Майкл по-другому пишется. Я знаю, как пишется
Михаэль.
Майкл. А тут написано Мишель. Вот прям
Мишель.
Мишель. Вот так вот. Мишель.
Ресторан Мишель.
Ну, вообще, знатоки, наверное, вот португальского подсказывают. Нам
Еми,
уже,
без
продолжается у нас
кызы.
пока что матч.
Эвердер
Первого
кызы.
отдельного
Ты бы
раунда
показал, что ли?
буквально примерно минуты 15. Пока вы можете насладиться происходящим на экране. Художественная экспозиция команда
Дюш.
NLP пробует.
Пробует подрезать пару ганов. Ну,
Тоже,
грамотно довольно
тоже
играет.
ребята родили
Вчера
не
с
надо.
6-й позиции там, или когда это был, по -3 делал.
Не посмотрим, на что способны НИПы, если нет в моем пуле трейна. Как бы, ну, реально проверочка хорошая.
Короче, 2-0 за Хоту. Чувствую.
Это вообще, кстати,
чувствую.
прикольная ставка.
3-0.
Чувствую 2-0 за Хоту. Чувствую. Но это просто по старту этого матча. Вообще, вчера пацаны очень круто отыграли. Реально большие красавчики. Приятно видеть, как команды с отборочных умудряются удивлять.
О, бежать так вот, да! Ну, да был мотоляхтер.
Нормально, да? Типа,
Даже молотов на всякий.
да, пойду, говорит, пикну, а там и коктейль, и чувака просто еще взрывает в этот момент.
А ты пик ты
Жесткие
ноги.
пятерки
Ради.
после.
Но я думаю, здесь очень стоит отметить в любом случае, как бы ни сыграли Хоту, да, работу Руса. Пускай он и достаточно молодой тренер, вот, но уже видно, сколько он импакта принес.
Ну, когда мы
ребятам.
На 1 день
А,
младше меня.
Это очень важно было.
Ну, по поводу молодой, да.
Не, ну, в плане, наверное, тренерской карьеры имеет в виду,
Да.
Витя.
Спасибо, Слав.
Приходится все пояснять.
Не, Гогу нормально. Гогу можно понять. Он вчера поставил на коэффициент 720. Там,
А сегодня на
Дюк,
1800,
до конца.
поэтому
Да.
сегодня день будет еще тяжелее.
Гога, ты пробовал комбинировать
О,
КС? Там,
двигаемся, да?
крикет, что-нибудь
И
такое?
настольный падал.
Падал. Так, ну что, на, опять вышли. 4-5.
Видно, не сосал.
Хода, он тебя не слабо так глядим, это через смог.
Ну, там Ринкл закрыл Юку, и в итоге это ретейк на 5-3. Там закрыли Хоту, и, ну, тут как бы...
Уже
щас
вот
будет
такие
ретейк
рыбы
по-любому.
ловите.
Смотри, молик еще есть.
Там 3 молика у атаки.
И ты такие рядом. Хорош, Мизу.
Все бы Магер просто отвечал в первом же матче.
Миллионер Магер.
Не тот он выбрал матч. Размен с гранат, ситуация 2 в 3, попытка разминировать бомбу. Ну, тут он фейканул или не фейканул, это непонятно.
Походу...
Второй дотянул.
О, бля!
Да, в итоге выбивают
Бля.
Пы, несмотря на сочную гранату, которая...
Мало қойдырғыр олар екен,
И
вот так.
первый оружейный раунд они забирают, но с большими потерями. Чат отвечает, чат Ютубу. Еще раз напомню вам то, что...
Ну, что ты говоришь, мапаны? Извиняюсь, ребят.
Трансляции при
У тебя говорю, ман. Ну, что ты говоришь, баран говорю, хоть не доктор. Араб бартан алалар вообще. Кинин адан кодде бәлдәдим.
So the bomb goes down. There's going to be more than enough cash to splash into another purchase, and here you can see it. Yuka with the
Әдилер ди бу. Нормально.
towards A. This real
Тра, Уолаттарбыт ага баралар.
here though needs to hit the first shot.
This would be one way to say.
Мизу хабыт быга. Погодаган.
Hang on, he's going to self-flash. No, they just accelerate. Okay.
О, блядь!
Interesting and timing.
Ули киген ди отда ебаный.
Take the double kill. Bomb spotted on the back of Yuka as well from his trade.
Кибеттер олар хаддер.
Look at the response time from NIP. They've got
Yuka işte minus ayına.
big alert. Held by that donut player for now.
Блядь, ким бир олар көрөдөр деген беретти.
Can't really afford to
Aruz dosyayın keyleri.
Control is valuable.
Does have a smoke as well, so he's the only smoke remaining.
Самыктарына да.
Unless they can find one on the ground. With his forward
Minus
position, at some
sonruklarına.
point, I imagine
Yuka
someone will
avım
show
na.
point. I would like it to be donut or Mizu. This lurk could really. That's going to be too late now.
It is. I
NIP
think
have
he's
stayed
missed his
active.
timing, yeah.
It's over now. Yuka's
Бля.
sideline. Fisher needs to swing.
Yuka, блядь.
Yeah, not easy. Arrows
Kendin hayal açtı oğlum.
Bizi erbe oldu.
Was seen with that bomb. Now Mizu's been heard. Just clearing him out. Oh, doesn't hit the shot immediately.
Kısama.
35 seconds. Progression now towards donut bomb.
Bire bitti.
Does need to move in. What you're waiting for? Looking
Is
for
it
an
a
AK.
save? Like,
I don't know.
mate.
They're in.
Mizu girer. Oo, valla.
Real awkward now.
Mizu
Ah,
good.
safe tatavun.
For it. Now he's lost his all. There we go. Now he wants to save.
Bitti
Orada
böyle.
nada uy.
Pass is okay. Just chill.
Anuk
man,
pa.
man. That's probably the best go. Okay. Well, a little bbit fallen over themselves in that.
Bile
one.
bu kara
Well played,
bakattı onu.
Hotu, but NIP.
Ve o хороший
Work
kız.
is-
Evet.
oof.
Evet.
Snappy had a chance to snatch away the AWP, making sure it couldn't be saved. But Yuka, too quick, takes him down and will retain it. So, all right, back-to-back rifle rounds.
There is something to be said about Hotu's inexperience or lack of communication being displayed in that round, because you saw that Yuka was trying to throw the anti-orb flash, the right-click
But they'd
jobby,
already gone.
but they
Bravo.
were going. No, he
Bu ne kadar
Sakar
yakındı.
var.
has both of them in double swung.
Yeah, so I guess the call from spawn not necessarily clear, but clear intent, I suppose.
Sure.
These rounds are
Yok,
relatively
kaddere
quick,
ıksavakı
so there's
ıtlavdı
communication
go'du
behind
tebe.
the call, but maybe not.
Da.
Hızlı jimna bistetti bu.
So you save an AWP, you can get on another AK, you're able to get some.
Bile iki yeni
upgrades
diyoruz
around
da.
should be able to get himself an AK.
Bir one taptan ka bana tırım lan yeter.
Onu kırdık. Onu kırdık abi. Tıksal.
Making sure they can get the most out of this bust.
Ha dedin ki geyik sağlar bak.
Time
Pau
out.
ge bir nugget öyle.
Snappy down to just an SMG, so going to be kicking himself. He lost that AK, but
He loves an SMG.
he does.
Bravo, катады.
Ты помнап.
Блин, докторна уже 20-го киселди битті, да?
Maybe like hanging around B. We haven't seen him since.
Kim bilir hayırlar öyle oldu.
Bilir orta bağlar olur, bilir orta iyi de önce.
A bit more B-centric.
Aballar bak.
Aa, toksuz kimeydi? Yok, bu da ne battı? Yok, hatta kuvvet ki girdi orayı.
He's going for that quick pick that we see
Oh.
Team go for.
Yeah, but that requires no mid-util, like no
Же,
HPs at least.
пошел, глад. Лопата хорош.
Yeah, it is. Parta would need a massive 1v4.
Evet, evet. Denetler diyor nedir?
3 more is a lot
Why
to
don't you
ask.
smoke the site plant? Get a little bit of extra cash. It doesn't really achieve anything.
Biraz zakatı hayırlarını.
It'll give you a pistol on the next round, I
Yeah,
guess.
you get a
it's
Tech 9 or a
better,
D.
better than nothing. Right now, this is just going to simmer out. What I will say is because NIP have been in the doldrums, right? They've been
Abi,
playing
bu kadar
tier 4, tier 3
хорош.
Counter-Strike,
Vallahi,
they
teoride.
literally went to a Fragadelphia.
Bitten karıyı yapın.
Hey, maybe that means Philadelphia's on the up and up.
Well, in a way, all local lands or smaller lands should be on the up and up thanks to VRS. But yeah, they literally went to Fragadelphia and
Barı ülkinde.
fortunately for them, they
Hayır
won
öğretmenin.
it.
Anla
Beat
kaçıyor onu.
Sharks in the final. In a best of 5, they won it 3-0.
Baba da lirik iş.
But
Baba.
the point less about
Lirkeş para.
Fragadelphia, more about the type of teams NIP have been playing. in
Vuru
line
o
with
gının var.
Hotu, as opposed to being in line with a Spirit or an Aurora. So they should be well equipped to deal with more. I don't want to say it in simple Counter-Strike, one-dimensional Counter-Strike,
Yuş
more
dedi.
direct or gimmicky Counter-Strike.
Less layered Counter-Strike.
Yes, whereas like the upper echelon teams are doing a lot of default, or they
Bir şey bulakları var, iriğiktire.
obviously a lot more experience with these things. In-game leaders tend to be a lot more experienced too.
Ana, yukarı. Kendi levde dolu şey bağlı. Takalan bir haram bir dolu.
Quite comfortable in this matchup, even though
Valla.
they don't have any head-to-head against Hotu before. The only reason I wouldn't be comfy.
Deki story seride harbi tatan kamera ustardı hadi. Osman Pokik kayın.
We do see not all in, but it is the AK.
Aha, yük sayda biri. Altta yukarıda bir ki. Хорош, yük zirki yine hayda.
He's got another one.
Does get another.
Bitti yapacağım mı getirdi nada onu.
Tabi kartını alırız.
How have they won this one?
Well, Duke did something.
The he
Federasyona
definitely
bir
did
müsaade doları duydu.
Something.
Başlatın yukarıdan alırdı. Safe koral ranlara.
Arrows, Doss, and Shush going to be put into the interrogation. So, lads, how did you just let that? How did you get 1v2'd?
Yeah, so they go Hero AK on Duke. They have some pistols with upgrades thanks to the loss bonus.
Bu orta pistoletten kilitler.
They
Ekranı kilit
Zey bir şey
tayaçlar.
kadar.
Yeah, I guess.
Yükten orang astı.
Heavy mid with the plan to have them react to a.
yeah,
Bildik
they
taktiği var.
did, so
But they died.
yeah,
So.
you don't get an opportunity to react. Okay, Duke. Let's
Ha bunlar istedi lan. Ha?
let's take a look at that, shall we?
Postavta dillerde.
And I are going to
Ya,
take
ne
time
bak.
out. Now the coach, we haven't mentioned him, Exist. What's even
iyi herhalde.
coach at NIP. So
Hey,
Exist.
duha
He's
alırım.
back
Sok.
in a
Ama ne var?
Swedish jersey, so to speak, but he doesn't have any.
Kada
Swedish-
bunlar
There's not many Swedes out there right now.
Sugum diye.
Doktor Diesel nol diye hay alırım.
We've got the guys
Sugum
over
diye
there in Wildcard,
ortadaydı.
Rosie,
Oyuncuğundan ne kadar.
Wow, okay.
Hoppa kiktik.
Stan's Canadian, Sonic is South African, and Jay
Oğlum da kaçı arasını da kıyasla.
is from the United States.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny? I think Hotu were expecting to get away with that on the first two rifle rounds that they won, and then they went into
Tabii
a
yapın
team
dok.
play, and then, well,
Biz
that
ola
didn't
ki.
work.
Oğlum bırakma
Versus
var.
do the same thing with Les and KDO get 2 kills. That I think were
Kim
probably the
kırıyor
best kills
diyeyim.
ever.
Wait, they don't even throw a smoke, like no windows.
Hadi aç kebap.
Everybody goes big.
Emeğe kadar atlar emeğe. Dike badık.
To be rush. You jokes, how you play?
Allah şey. Dıkitler gımar uğrun bağlılar.
That concedes all the.
Hayda. Birli.
Fight for it. Shush.
Kıpkı
just
kaldıran
about
hasta.
gets away with 1 HP.
Ya böyle.
Okay.
Ya onu bir kapıla
Giving
kalalım.
up the sight.
Arayın ne kiri. Kadeo.
Look at all the nades left over for Hotu.
Ben iyi de bomba da iyi
Don't
değildir.
bomb. That was one place to start. But look, you've got
Biraz
two
smoke
smokes,
kete haydalar.
three mollies. Just keep CT.
Kapta bile.
Can't lose.
Aa, Yapon.
You can now.
Farder gets spammed on down. Ujex does well. Find an angle onto that default plant spot.
Bir ki kendine kiriler. Bile.
Held onto cave. Stop that from being a post plant position.
Doluyun.
Now sweeping in through the ramp.
Horor. Bile diye onu. Ha bakın.
Wrinkle cleans up.
Ay onu. Bu wrinkle diye kiri bile. Kirema buradan hayasta öttü bile.
Oradan bir aydan haytalan.
Like, the bot's not moving. He's just
Bir
having
tek
a
ikinci başka görmediler bak.
It's
Duvara
amazing
duruldu.
about Swedes.
Yeah, okay, go.
We got Rez,
Yeah, obviously.
ZTR,
Yeah.
LNZ, Youngster,
O miti periodika baran kalam bu remix.
Plus,
Metasport.
Allah koydu.
you've got at least 10 Swedes.
You've got Johnny
Sniper.
Speed,
Johnny Sniper, yeah.
Johnny Sniper, Johnny Speed.
Oh.
Actually, that's Dragon's team.
Yeah, I remember.
You've got
Buh.
Upballers with JW.
They're here. They're more of like kind of a CCT
Dedi iki solu hayıktağın.
energy, aren't they?
Wow.
That's how we see them.
Olaf's still on the bench of FaZe.
Olof's on the bench of phase. Streaming.
Adam moya moya kibetler du. Bilet. Da bilet. Yaptıştırın.
Indeed, double kill. Make it
Ah,
three.
boy.
That's exactly what you want to see.
Kırdık spittere de oldular.
He does steal it, but it was beautiful. Nice little.
O kayetler bu.
Pace on this one.
No, kimi ühengini kadehleri de var.
Odik in the server very slow.
Arış kitlerin bırak baka kadehler bu baka.
Hotu in the server.
Anlar arış kitlerin bırakın biteller.
Yeah, they do not play scared. They
Zaten
play feast or famine.
Bastıka tuğka çözüden kadar bak hadi yolları.
I'm just loving this. And look, not for their round.
Hatta hem bir zakatı hamay bastı bırakın mı? Ay kabeyagar doğun sağım.
Onun man kelime takımı.
Shush plugs that one. He's dead.
Presumably, the people pushing through that.
Kaya kısın kan onu bulur.
O bakın.
We're assuming that you would.
Hatta bak evet kendin.
Ha tabii yerini yakar.
The flashes there. The flashes aren't going to be.
Baka bilemedim o yeni.
So that's just a.
Diye orada yok. Ben de hayır buldu atına. Ha.
Does not pay off.
Gene olan şey var.
Coming into the next round, though, it's going to be interesting to see if they have a different approach. Do they elect to try a different?
Ne görünüyor baka.
Well, I would say the money's not there for a buy.
Bas bugün hep aynısı o badın.
Yeah.
Duke has enough for an AK.
Ada kaç gün hep aynısı oluyor.
Still with Kevin.
Indiğinde.
On the last one like
Yeah,
that.
just do another one of those, would you? An IP with the one round lead would be loving to get themselves up to an 8-4. This is the type of series that I think you're quietly confident about. You see it's
Hasta
Hotu,
orta bir olat
and
bir
that's
orta bir
not meant
olat.
to sound disrespectful. You take everybody, you know, with the same serious nature, especially when you're in the server. But there's some teams you're going to fear more than others. Like you're definitely going to fear a team like Spirit more than you're going to fear a team like Hotu. And I think for NIP, this would be a great tournament
Ulardalar ne bileyim.
for them to be able to lock into a playoff, especially for those VRS points going.
Oh,
into the
çok
second
parası
season.
kibartı yemek yerim bitti bit.
Budapest was announced overnight, so we now know.
Yakalatlar da orta.
Here we go. Look, there is a Duke AK.
Just go away.
Go. Tapat kidire.
They are in.
Oh, wait, Arrow.
Oraya gittiler bak.
Хорош.
Хорош.
Бля, хорош, ёбаный. Быстрее так быдалар вот так. Хорош, бля.
Wow.
Just rush.
Yeah, if you're going to talk
Вот
about those
так.
shots from
На
Red Bull, they
характере.
end up costing him.
Yep.
You know,
Da
let's say
ekranlar
they
oynuyor
want
diye var.
that's a 50%. Then
Şeba tarsta.
maybe that's a different
Бля,
round.
молодец.
Duke just walks through the smoke.
Oh, Allah.
In their face.
Atayım bir kıyım bak hadi.
Almost
Şu.
takes everything, just wrinkle them.
Netler şutların.
Down.
I swear, I've played against players like this before.
Ölürükten ne adı ki?
Keyif kayı üst okudula gelir.
At the highest level. Hotu
Anangaları
are just
beppin.
walking through
Oturay
smoke,
bir iniyor.
calling bomb site rushes, and they're running at Wrinkle with their knife out. They just want to take that
Давай,
away,
Кадо.
and they might.
Хорош, ёбаный. Алды, юкуга.
Okay. Okay.
Қандай ақпадың?
KDO, man. Why is that
Бата,
so
что ли?
hard for you to read, bro?
Not how I would spell it.
Well, he
KDO.
didn't make his name. You could
Al
say it
ılıma
anyway,
diyet ağlar yuga.
but
Yeah. K.
just say it with
Where's that A?
conviction.
K. Like, there's no Y. It's a K.
But just say it however you want with conviction.
Cardio.
Kapitanlara kadar emeksanlarla
Just
hopaya
don't
giydi.
question it.
Okay.
Bля, beni kahdı olur mu de böyle. Ay kral.
He didn't send me a dossier
Cardio.
saying this is how you say my name.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he speaks English.
Хорош. Kadev bля.
Ours Dots responds with 2. Just get that buy one get one free offer.
Bля. NBA yuki kudu ki valla batta. Nara bu bundan yor.
Be some
Ha?
questions asked. I think.
Wrinkled. Ata edifler daro.
Ой, bля.
There he is.
Bla pijes timing kawan takkan.
He settled in. He settled in there, right. 6-5.
Блин, битек раунд.
12-6 for Wrinkle.
Онна пистекин обязательно лыхна.
He has 5 and 7, but he did have an impactful round on mid not that long ago.
Ha bu bana giren de kalandı.
Aha.
O kasta papıtkalar onunla hem bir ince kırbana ince baradır onlar diye.
Let's do that again, shall we?
Yep, one more time. You wouldn't just say A or B, would you? You'd say something else. Yeah, look, a little bit more of a layer. We've got a red smoke.
Kata kayak ki beler bıgı vadılar şey baydık.
Doors smoke.
Здорово.
Darıva.
Здорово.
Bet mizo.
Хорош.
That's a nasty fight.
Daha koyladım o zaman.
Kıstı o dute.
Vaa. Kutular bulanda. Ay kız.
Köy dute. Zaskera alnast.
Şey baytaya alırlar. Lampada Блин, когда закрытый лорон надо.
It does, but a pug that's actually going to get him.
Манда, занагасик на бей, левый тюр, бля.
Okay, all he needs to do is not whiff from here.
This is the.
Касы жүгаттан каты жүгә баралар смоктар.
How good's his clear?
Талих.
Because he's going to be like.
He is clear.
Бля, ну кwana калар.
Кырава.
Блядь, нахуй. Ой.
Лампада. О, хорош, лампада.
This is going to be a very frustrating map for an
лампада гидин.
in which they've been taken from them.
But how does this translate on the T with them swapping over to the
Я
CT side?
бабуки. Сяпа что ли
How
буки?
does that work?
Because you can obviously do crazy smoke pushes, but yours start to get like insane. Oh, I'm pushing through the
ground,
door
push
smoke,
through
I'm
it,
pushing through the elbow smoke.
True. Actually true.
Бреметиниган просто. Хорош.
6 rounds for Hotu. At the T side, I will remember for sure. One very unique pace.
Игорь Дарова, Хоту вперед, он
And taking gambles. It's been rewarded in this elimination.
Адреналин хаялар битте, мизу.
I just have a hard time. Like the
Öyle neler
what they
olur
did
de.
there
Yep.
is replicable,
Yes.
but they managed to win 3 rounds.
Kada alacı healer bitti.
with 2 AKs and pistols. So
Bu paket teceli.
Replicable technically, right?
İpi veriyor gitti.
that's the problem. There was no.
Oh, Duke.
Yeah, I don't know if he's upset.
Атак на ровно свой пикатик верхане
It
битанdık.
looks stern.
Certainly does, but most parts of that world, you know, it looks stern. It's probably love. Apart from electronic, that's just stern. That's just stern.
Just the dark side.
Just
Mo.
the dark side. Yeah, Palpatine would love that. Plus, you know, for NIP, this could compound. You've lost 2 games in a row, 2 series to Spirit and Aurora. Now you find yourself against Hotu. You go, okay, we got a must win, an easy win, and then you have a half like that. Can't afford to get into your own head.
Biraz geç.
Must win game for Ninjas. Hotu coming in as that, looking to play spoiler.
Ой,
Oh, he is not.
А вот şurada bu kadar doğru.
жестко хайре битте, а?
Oh, he's definitely unhappy.
Olur alıcı bir lampada.
Just
Unhappy.
won a round as well.
He was very unhappy.
Yeah.
He's not happy.
Dual Berettas in cave, a classic.
Lan bu adam mega störtü dük yapın.
Up mid and no one on donut.
Bunu da baba oldu.
Water.
So they get
Bir ba.
So they've just gambled B fully. Once they
Hayır.
understand that it's A, they pushed out and found the lurk.
Хорош.
Şey ola şey.
another kill. This is
Görmem oldu.
Kadamdan.
Хорош.
Bir de
Yep,
faydanlar.
they hit their shots and now it's a 5v2. There is a
Bot
Molotov
brother,
in this
sabah
round.
kör bu.
If he gets the timing on
Snappy
this Molotov
bille.
right, if he gets the timing on
Ha.
this Molotov right, it could be round defining. Throws it out. No
Speed
extinguisher
davet de.
available. Has to
Hayır,
accept
hayır.
it. It's just
Speed
snapped.
speed
It's a
speed
1v4
de.
Molotov. 10
Speed
second
de,
defuse
speed de.
needs to be booked in. Has he got it? I
Bitti
think he
be.
might have just
Hadi
got
indi
enough
bıraktı,
time
Aliça.
there. Yep, Cadio seems confident. And so Hotu taking the pistol.
Ooh.
And it is just hold W.
Gitay
Simple,
diyen
effective
tanımlara
juking
buladı.
shots.
Kadın.
Fair play.
Yeah, he looked confident there with the defuse, didn't he? So obviously the 10-second music being
Ha,
played.
stil tavattır mı?
Ya, hocillere bir tane.
letting him know that the defuse-
Kiti inu battere bir tane kimlere daha.
I
Hmm.
mean, you know, hindsight 2020 and all
Zачем?
seems like Snappy could have held it for
Bastığı doktu bilin. Bastığı da kal bisikletine bak bahasa hele bula.
Yeah, I guess when everyone else is dead.
Hatta bir iki tığın adı bu.
Yükşemedi hem de.
Wow.
Bir pistol yakına
There
bas.
you have it. That's going to be the
Ulanlar
pistol
evet, bu arada.
now. Can they find the
Sarı
third?
var.
Ateşleri bitti.
Ha.
NIP afforded a force
Dere.
due to the plant. That's
Nangalga-
no pistols for Hotu. So
İki
those are
ucuk taktır.
conditions to win
3
a
ucuk
map.
taktır. Bir bisiklet.
You're going to have a Galil and
Bir
a
Galil.
Wrinkle. Couple of Mac 10s.
Galil. Deagle. Üst
Now, something
makta.
that, Snappy-
Beyakam yanlık
you
rüya.
know, you
Beyakam
talked
yanlık rüya
about
bitti
it
peşti.
before, in terms of what against players. Obviously,
Forced.
with Falcons, there was no success found. So
Let's go Hotu.
the players are younger and they have a higher level of respect.
Raskitara da bisti.
And to be fair, so even with that sentiment, they had Madden and some Pius, their players you'd come up with throughout ends. So either way, it didn't work for them over in the Falcons jersey, but things that have worked for Snappy.
Kötü harbi eder.
Some good pocket momentum calls. So let's see if he can.
Daha
use that
bastığı
to
bir adamın kartılığın kayıtlarına da. Aba. Ulan bu dinkıl dinki ya onu kadar takastı yapı.
Ooh, missed the center there, they're pushing through.
Oh la.
Aa, bля!
Double on the Galil.
Бля, хуйня Галилна.
Lines him up, knocks him down, and
Ксама, дюк Ксама.
Like what you were talking about how
Иред
the
хоско.
style of play translates to the CT side. It's two SMGs pushing through a smoke onto the lane fight.
two more are going to push and fight through cave and lane right now.
О, бля.
Да, бля.
Сырьёрда тахтам келбей аппы.
Another one. Another push.
Галилайбики, хорош.
Oh, the second would actually.
Чолокче.
He gets away with it.
Хорош.
Бля,
Ксама.
заебись.
Keep coming.
За икки кыгылна.
For you, Mizu comes up to provide support. The hunt from
Байтигна.
Shush will win this.
О, iyi de
These are the
winledi.
type of clutches he wins, though. These are the type of clutches he wins.
It's just terrifying knowing that they are going to be holding W somewhere. If
Bir
they're
atıp
gonna
kıvırlar
win
ya.
now, then they'd like to round.
Bidi tak. Bля.
Swings on out, does isolate the first.
Haydi yan.
Concerned about the last. and walking up
Хорош,
and
блядь.
P90.
Stop.
Shush gets tagged up a little. The nade seems
Eşe.
good. Swings on it. Can't finish.
О,
off the
бля.
job.
Бля.
Бля.
Of course, Shush will save them. That aggressions and the constant re-aggressions, it's exhausting.
Yeah, it
Niftar Avrora'dan bähe iki bir
Hotu
Hotu orada bihettere 2-0.
Asbihi Avrora'dan da один хот топтырды бейнер.
Ha, duanlar Hotu bitirdi. Avror.
Kim yaktı, niptadi. Avrora'nın rızkı bula. Bu iki tane komanda var yine. Почти.
Oh, бля.
Again, this is a Super Bowl tournament for NIP.
Yeah.
Because they're an organization that has already been in the big leagues before. They're looking to return there. So by getting into the playoffs here, any land wins that you can get, Hotu isn't a team that's going to get you the most.
Gördükler var стоyba.
Good. And this is a tournament where the prize money as well will also help boost you through the rankings. NIP are in the long game, right? This is the perfect case study of a team that was formed from scratch at the start of the year without any points and how long it takes them to break in. So sure, they missed the first major. It's not missing the first season. It's just not having enough points to play the first.
Да, пушпа да, там, блин, хорош, блядь. Хорош.
Бля.
Блядь, дверь. О, бля, крылья тебе дай. Бетте бет.
Слушай.
Блядь, на характере. Дыняем вообще.
Ксама да и дюк.
And for NIP right now, Mizu's shooting harder.
Дюк bir kapıla.
Лампада кости.
Make it overlooked. Played it right. Play out and they clear it.
Ай, блядь, ты галаку бахан, ёп. О, хорош, такой потом убыт. Бетте бе.
Мизо.
Что kötü выдал идет-то?
Это не
Ринку.
купешкалах регулизенты выем.
Ринку на воскилла.
And he's not even walking. That's a running A main 5-7. Gets two. Of course it does. Oh, the frustration.
Mizu ve kayıtlar. Mizu çok kopmuşlar.
Nearly gets through. And Pardas for the finishing touch. Then of course, don't worry, Cardio is coming in from behind as well.
They've won more of their rounds in the weak
Please don't
position,
do
I'd say. More of the key rounds anyway.
Мен бля, вы ринку ядаста. Бу олар еще была потолок.
They're not running on them right now.
Asıl taşık. Taşıkın da.
Трендер hazır.
Standard round.
Why aren't they running at them?
Снайпи он ринкл джекидер.
Contact cave. He's got the block smoke, but if they start running, it will be too late.
Aha!
In the doorway.
Делай.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Делай! Блядь! Ёбаный!
Executed by U-Juts. Now
Окей, кемedi кутрамандыр бики лампадам.
from the NIP boys.
Олоко! Да блядь, да блядь.
But Duke will reveal himself with the tracers and goes down.
Okay, tit for tat.
Ben hatçıda galak kadar anı me.
Nothing consecutive in the second half just yet.
Galaga.
That's all right. We knew they were going
Taradlar oldu.
to work when it's going to be 5-7s running through smoke. So snappy. Can he snatch it all away? Probably not.
Etti.
Хороший.
Got a chance.
Min станет косов.
Күлүн көддө.
Когда yiğidi. Videolar anladı. Geri olurdu. Oo.
Ayarı da bir tanesi.
En kötü Aykın.
What's he doing? Where's he going?
Playing for the kills. Playing for the kills.
I guess he's thinking.
Тифти хатады хаддакты жиги. Тоготаккан келди.
Жирдин кимде
Курстан тағыстауды баш.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't really want the MP9.
Safety хатаан барантон headless стилер булагат.
Counter-Strike comes in so many shapes, sizes, flavors, and this one's got a very unique size and flavor.
Яка Уолаттарга. Лампада тоғылды.
Alex Richardson.
M4,
Полубай.
MP9.
That's such a late buy.
Доскар скиттарда.
Hotu was still buying.
Yeah, it's worked out.
They're not running.
Ай, мисля, блядь, хайбо! Епо! Хорош, иди в мизу. Кырдык те яқын дегудык. Бітті бәт.
Бля, Батуруна.
Хорош, блядь!
Бля, лампада.
How's he gotten away? Gets two.
Батуруна видал.
It's something he can work with, but the fights are going to keep
Тебелемсің бұл. Хорош.
Аллара гет не делать.
Ну, кені, қада бұге.
Okay.
Мен чықтан русская бар.
Yes, they have.
Қайна құлы бұге.
Disconnected in celebration. He's had enough.
Öyle
He
Алло.
needs a rest. He needs a rest.
Хамбарда
Too
бұл.
intense.
Нахальтов
Они
4.
то тахаллы.
Boys, I need a little lie down.
Maç pauzalarsın. Hadi atan girebilir.
Бля, чийтін құбы өдді бар, херас.
Çiğdevliler falan oğlum.
Takes a pot shot and he just returns his crosshairs. Like, you know, one kill's better.
Тебе қатылы Мальтов 4 баттасы
I'm not
оламыд.
going to faff around trying to track a strafing SMG. I'll just take one.
Öyle taktika oldu. Onu tüm takım beraber var. Crash test. Pauza, onu vurup pauzalarsın.
They eliminated Game Allegiant.
Those are two very
Мұняқтығыла. Аты мизу түгірі кәсерімді қайығын бөлі.
So nothing makes sense
Моут.
for their run.
No, it doesn't.
Right? They started
Әс
the game.
нельзя бодақта.
С перерывка можно олда.
Evet. Kepsiyim. Hala.
Техническая
By
перерывка
no means meta Counter-Strike
вроде нельзя было
on
это.
display. Alex,
Қадан да бұлы? Они
Бәрі
олдақтан.
nothing they've done has
Be
sensibility.
hattı da tutuğura.
Might explain why Wrinkle, who is a bit of a pug stomper, you know, he's regularly in those realms. This feels familiar to him. He's like, oh,
Техника хамбатты да. Техника хамбаттыры.
Yeah, look, I think Wrinkle's just good. I think like Wrinkle is the best NIP player. If
Güzel kutlalar oldu. Attı yatırın hamacılar şunu.
Если что, это Кайл.
would you get more output of Wrinkle if he was playing in Wonderful's position, do you think?
Wow, okay.
Ola.
Is he that good?
Artık tutun onlara olur ki de bir bol alır eğitimde.
Es. Babzan geri.
Это paplan olur.
Really seem like a face, right?
Kalıbağı bağıda da.
Feel like a pug, right? We do have a little technical issue while we get Snappy back in the server. Don't you worry about that.
So I've been diving into the Hotu players' profiles. Duke Fissura has got coaching reps as well. Did you know that?
Bunlar neydi bu ki? Ha?
He's got a coach tab.
Ebba.
Teams. 2 teams he coached. You won't have maybe not heard of either of them.
Okay.
It was GR.
No, I did hear of them. They were Far East Russian players.
Okay, yeah. And he also
They
coached.
played at the.
Настройды на была потом.
Yeah. Okay.
So the same team.
Yeah, only 120 days as a coach and a whole lot more.
Типа кимде харух таштı. То кимде хамбарıydı.
He's kind of done a bit of
Mikrofonların araran geldi.
Eyvallah bir pat.
Doesn't look 28.
No, he doesn't. 2,000 days in teams as a Counter-Strike player, so I think he's more of a player than a coach. Maybe just wanted to lend a hand to some friends. Previously.
That explains why he was chewing out.
Coach
Coach mode for a second.
So he definitely doesn't look 28. But what do I know? So the
Tabii tuğ verirler. Tarbaktar geldi dedi.
Горелка.
The gentleman in the middle with the
Evet, onu koy tabi.
we've seen him before.
Antipod iniyor.
He remember him playing for Avantgarde. This would have been
Deyip dire.
probably back as we were coming out of online times. So probably 2020, 2021. We would have been casting some stuff with him in the Avantgarde.
Компьютер да utadı что ли вообще, а?
That could have been even maybe Razmik Boss was there.
Bitti nahуй. Kik değil.
Ramzik.
Was it Ramzik or Razmik?
Блин, ДНС-ке хүрен таханга системне кылыктыры.
Компьютер да хуяне.
Chat will let us know. They'll let us know. Don't you worry about that. There's everybody tuning in on Twitch chat, Kick, YouTube. I don't know what other platforms they're on, but they're definitely on those 3.
Then let's call it those 3.
They're 3 pretty big platforms.
Yeah.
I do like that YouTube's getting more popularity, right? It's great to see.
I think, yeah.
No disrespect to Twitch chat.
Тренди замарат тех перерыв сети камбекен.
That's kind of
Буду культура это он.
is this whole chat.
Yeah, the community side
They
of it.
have the community.
But
Теперь
YouTube's
здорово.
a better player.
Yes.
The fact that you can rewind is huge.
And the fact that I can just so much. Okay, I don't want to like be rude, but I just think that the streaming technology. Like whenever I'm trying to put a game on from Twitch,
4K as well.
He does 4K, but when I'm trying to like beam it onto my
Бәдірін бірін трен жегіп байды. Именно пығылғын олы бұдың ұштықын жеп байды.
Yeah, so you got the app, you just launch the app, you're cooking.
Either through the television itself or Chromecasting. Yeah. But I've always got the Running Man Z on.
Yeah, right.
He's one of my favorite streamers.
Running Man Z.
Running Man Z.
If you were doing like a streamer review, what would you say that his stream offers you? Is it entertainment? Is it more about the character or is it more about the way in which you play the game?
I think it's a laid back time.
Yeah.
DayZ is a good streaming game because there are into the chat. Now he doesn't actually give his actual age. His name's Paul. He's a father of, I believe, 2 girls. I'm trying to piece this together.
Okay, nice.
Now I would, if I'm going to start throwing out guesses, I'm going to say he's late 40s, early 50s.
Okay, so he's a bloke.
Юктора абытай капитаны бида. Кыгыра лине бида.
Creating DayZ content for
Юктор. Yeah, Юктор капитан, да?
But he doesn't have his cam, so nobody knows what he looks like. We don't know.
Казах бытты, да?
You know, I'm not there to hear him talking about Formula 1.
Казахтар бу. Каде онда юк казахтар.
He, you know, but it is a nice laid back time. I don't.
Каде один казахты деме.
He doesn't really get frustrated when he dies either.
I admire that.
Because for him, it's just.
Каде один хакади билем.
It's about starting as that freshman on the coast. What do you do? It's not about the gear. It's not about having the DMR or the LAR and you know unlimited supply of 308 rounds. It's not about that.
No, that happens sometimes.
That does happen. Especially if you want to go to like playing the mouse.
Лампада.
Now we like the mouse.
Юк сура ден эти аналитиктер это по идее замена кирен хаб. Юк замена тохта аналитика это просто.
Иди сонюр бетте.
Юк шу я. Бехеллер акын чоконявд. Бастыгы күнгө башы жалымды юк.
Обулнает.
No, of the servers.
Not on the servers.
No, I did get banned.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, so you've lost your way in.
I was banned for cheating.
2 той маçтарга буллагана бастыгы раунга медяламды. Кетегенен пиктирди.
That's true. How's Harry gotten banned? Harry doesn't strike me as the type of guy to get banned on Marvel.
На агрессивно нюр булак ватта юк.
I believe him, right? Like
Отон гыдын табыллары. Кандики береме табыллар.
I know, but it just seems like 3 times you're banned. You're falsely banned for aimbot.
Well, he would have made new accounts.
So he's a new account and he plays well.
Yeah.
And then
he's got Counter-Strike aim.
Yeah, so that
Она бедный чуволок жию болайды.
People report him because he's got like 50 kills in a silver lobby.
Yeah.
And then they shadow ban him, or no, not shadow, straight ban him. He just
gets hard banned.
He gets hard banned.
Hard banned.
Harry Russell is banned. That's right.
Sorry about the yapping, guys. That was a technical timeout. And here's the thing: we didn't want the players to hear us talking about what the buy was going to look like, so we didn't talk about the game. That's all good. Oh, shush with the cave and the red smoke. Beautiful work. The support specialist does it nice and quick, and they're out mid, as it will be an eco. So we took a tech timeout into an eco. That doesn't get swallowed.
No, but maybe you started a conversation.
Finish
now.
Это бля, понятно. Бям тудырым кытлар да вот там, извините. Вообще одну такую дуру.
Yeah. Oh, you mean us?
I thought you meant for us. I was like,
oh no.
Tahraradna.
No, absolutely not.
Kim ötütten de? Atalı şiddetten tahraradna
You
yediğini.
get to have a nice leg. So you need to push more.
Abin нулевка хайлару.
Ama ne?
More repeats.
Дахтыр качкалай дон.
O kadar. Vallahi diye bana.
The 2 looks like a 3 on the radar. All right, well, the fact he's played so conservatively, he should be rewarded with at least 2.
Vallahi.
Хорош.
Хорош bulla.
And they take that AK to the next round.
He's in game.
Kim kira sajreti. Yuki toqoqdan girdi.
The maneuver that he made. Oh, Shush is giving them some of their own back.
Тут они диспиттер, элбижоннор өлөттүлдөрү.
Smokes, well, we can spam him too as
Bet. Oh!
down and taken to the underworld as Lampard, the last man, over towards the T spawn.
They're hunting this AK. They've already got.
Rinkeljen büyük skill'lar bu gidere.
Is he going to be pushed any further? Well, are they going to meet? Is U-Joke's going to come?
لا برختي هوغدان oynuyor.
I don't know how Shroud would fare against these guys.
Bilallah.
I mean, Shroud was the GOAT, so
he'd probably win.
Bet. Oh!
Ey dadda.
3 players on the
После взрыва өлдөлө. Качта болду.
Hotu desledi. Rifle round the force by wars not falling in their favor to start the second half. That's with them picking up both pistols. Is the round recap on everybody's screens. The back and forth nature has now
Rinkelleri
they take steps.
Yuku baka omulalik pala. Kadeu temi.
Okay, well, there's a Famis in the mix alongside of the 4 silenced M4s. There's a defuse kit, there's U2. There's an elbow smoke. Exchange of nades in middle. No damage found. Those nades did not find their target at all from the T side. And NIP are not playing with the same pace as what we saw from Hotu.
Снайперге жохол болуп болот. Хух хидерге тийилди.
Apply some mid pressure.
Арго бомбадылар.
Oh, you.
I don't
Don't
understand
push too late,
why. It's a favorable fight, and you have a pretty good idea they're not B lane.
yeah.
So what does that mean? They're in
Ah,
A.
kim de o.
Yeah.
So they had an A.
It's certainly a choice. It's a choice. Choice you can make.
Oh, mate.
The beauty of Counter-Strike is you can make choices that are just yours, you know?
Снайпи. Дюш.
Technically, he
well, they're all in middle, Alex.
Okay. And you've got 2 players swinging.
А, валя. О, хорош. Хорош, бля. Битая канара билля.
2v1, folks, and every
Оксана.
member of the bloody Hotu squad is just fighting in mid.
Хорош.
Bet be.
It gets taken down.
Imagine you just lost to that.
They're all in middle. How do we analyze that?
Oh, so okay, hold up. So one guy pushed.
Yeah.
Right, we killed him.
So we figured there'll be a
Goodbye.
So they'll
Give
up A, and they'll give up B, and they'll all just fight middle.
It's like if kind of you do like the heroic retake of mid, but you do it with
everybody.
Brutality.
It's literally everybody.
Yeah.
Блять.
Okay. They win this.
Моя гасты до во.
Oh, look at the pace.
Останови!
Straight into the mid window. Duke's gonna be pissed.
Да, блядь, Ринкл ми хайда, бля. Кирекигин хаймада хамбаралла, бля.
Reset, recalibrate, and see if you can find all 3.
I think there's gonna be. I think they're gonna
grouped up somewhere.
Is he gonna push for A main smoke? No. Okay, they're actually just gonna go back to A. Don't play big box with MP9.
Mizu anna, mizu garakan.
Toolbox, okay, sure. What happens if they molly?
I think he's okay. I don't think they're molly.
You don't think so?
I
They'll
don't think
contact
they're
walk
molly.
in.
Yeah, I think.
Хавардар хипаддыгы.
They might molly temple.
Бля, куда тайын халатла батты болу? А?
Still gets his.
Омаян түстө жоробун.
Flashes through the smoke.
Ne?
All of them on his screen.
Ага.
Vi har Omayadje.
Omayara.
Isn't it crazy though, right? Like they have these nice aggressive plays on the lighter buys and they do really well. And then okay, they have a good gamble stack that clamps down on middle and locks them out. But the thing that got them to the gamble stack in the previous round was Duke pushing on his own. Your aim's so good. What if you just played a little bit more standard? But it's fine. I want there to be more pace in Counter-Strike. That's the one thing I think we're lacking. Rico has 27 kills, by the way.
I was just looking at that. That is a large number.
Ай, kas küll on ju janda bla tüdnür gün istere ha.
Ja, nebba.
That's like if you took Lamparda's score, doubled it, and took away 4.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Ayağını kıyıtlarından.
You're gonna have to take away. Oh, come on, Al.
Hatta kadar ara kuşlar ne bakınca necden çıkan oradalar gama kendi taktikalarını jibilerler diyor Walter. Oraya yeni kanı mırtlarlar.
I'm pretty
How are you
sure
gonna
I
get
was
to
right.
an odd
Akalar
number
kotular.
when even
Kıcılar.
I was close actually. 16 times 232 minus 4 is obviously.
Ben mi batıda bileyim push bolgan.
run boosted? Oh, they missed the run.
Aa öyle diyor öyle. Kirenin. Sınırına aldır hok bolları.
Haven't lost a round where they bought AK Deagle yet.
Yes. Yes.
Middle. Ooh, you jokes have done
Ben-
well. Should be dead.
Here we go. Now it's started.
Lampadar
Now
o.
it's started.
Taşıgın hadi diyor.
How are they so comfortable in what should be like a treacherous pass?
They're not scared. They ain't scared. They're getting away with
Lampada. Yuka unna
full elbow.
kimide? Mizu. Akalar.
Is falling back out of the site, or at least rejigging their setup.
Evet.
So what's weak?
Hadi yuk pıtığını hok.
I'll say that B's not weak.
No, and that's head-on collision.
Yuko
territory right
автоматом
now.
берейін.
Is that door smoke?
Bir bep kapitan bakın.
It's not a great door smoke, is it?
Тына хоқты.
Yeah, but you can use this. It's
Of.
multiple angles.
Oski ağıt. Bet tuspay gelaki. Bet. Iksama. Bullet.
Can't get another. Lamparda brought down. Snap.
Bet.
important kill.
No bir kinci vadda.
On Duke, he still finds the timing.
Iksama.
Somehow
Kiyin kades.
Deagle finds another connection. Arrows DOS connects.
Iksama Allah iksama.
Now it's just going to be snappy. Default plant has that smoke walk push coming in. Cardio should have
Araş.
Bitti be.
him just as he rounds the corner. Cardio will have the jump on him.
It feels like Hotu have 10 players in the server if you're NIP, because every time that you hit one of these sites, or even just middle,
Olbay
apparently
bilgin
they're
demeye
all
him bir.
there. So in two of these round conversions, everybody's been there. So that's with a number disadvantage against him. Great shooting from Lamparda on the saved AK. His second AK that he gets. Duke makes good on one of those.
Блять, тебе.
Вот бастан yılları başı emosyonel tahabatları diye. Des taharbu bu mutabatı.
Going to be the third tactical time I called from NIP, so I think that's both teams expending all of their 30-second chit-chats before we make it to
Atakan'la
overtime.
diyen oynuyorlar bildikleri.
We could very well be destined for overtime. It's just about Hotu being able to string
Karanlık
consecutive rounds
da hayır
together.
dogi.
The lost bonus is going to
Tabii.
be a question
Atların da
because
bittiğini
both
bilemem.
teams are teetering. It's both very close to bottom of the barrel, and that right there puts them in hot territory, right? So you might have to see some more saves.
I suspect NIP will be okay in this round.
А тебе пазана тут так иди.
Hamza kanari.
Кроссовкатан hırla sıvır sıvır.
Turning that donut flat, Mizu under scrutiny.
Bu da mı ki de kırba?
Smoke obscures his view. Cross to red, a threat. Duke responsible. Cadio throws out a smoke to kind of limit U-Jerks' contributions as Arrows.
Barton'u bir defter ırkan bular diye. Bu gidler.
Yeah, B could be under a lot of pressure, but they have this A main space, so information flowing in favor of Hotu has freed up that piece to move over of Duke.
İki kurucuyun
All the
hadi.
way through A main. Blocked on B for now. This flank should be able to get here in time. Maybe not.
Молотов стахтарин, добрых
Блядь.
подтырывали.
Блядь! Размен, блядь!
U-Jerks and Shush might get the double entry into the site. Bomb should be going down comfortably.
Mizu
Snap
sama.
onto that. Mizu's flank, however,
Bet!
has legs, has info on the ramp player as well. Flubs the
Yeah,
flank,
he do
needs
it.
something out of his teammates here. You can
Kim yerine
find
gittiler de.
something. They partner
Ya
up.
yok kime bir de lampada. Yo ne.
Smoke for the bomb.
Smoke and kit. Yeah, there is something to be said about this one.
Oh.
Gets the info on the wall bang. Shush, however, quick and precise with his.
Bala.
He's getting out of there.
Okay, good news. They'll have an AK for the next round, but what else will they have? Probably not a lot.
Well, that's all they need.
Şunu değil. Kendi aldı billah.
Okay, well.
They can't win this round.
No.
Bas kıllar, harin kıllara.
Pistols is the winning formula, so.
But honestly, 3 rounds in the first half was 1 or 2 AKs with pistols that they won. And in the second half, it's been at least 2.
Admirable.
Well, just strange.
Definitely strange.
This is a strange game of Counter-Strike. This is not a regular game of Counter-Strike by any stretch of the imagination. And it's okay for it to be strange.
Yeah, I think for NIP as well, they're probably... What the... AWP is in the mix.
Yeah, well...
Okay, so the classic...
He's in the right place.
Three SMGs, one rifle, one sniper.
He's in the right place for it.
Хорош, Юка.
On top of the box. Gets
Хорош.
Бэт! Блядь!
He hits another, the quick scope to Snappy.
Ба, бля, это что-то.
Бля!
More the greed, I can understand it. He just wanted to get one more on the way out. With the loss of Cardio as well, it puts us into kill. NIP playing for the game. They picked off DOS.
А, да, бугиде. Бля, читро будто была, японер кидик.
Mizu forced into a 1v3, gives it a good go, leaps through the smoke, and NIP will claim the first map for themselves. 13-10.
Yeah, that was their map choice. There were 9 in a row on that map, though. I did cite that early on in the game. One of the keys to that 9 in a row for them, however, is the fact they'd beaten up on a lot of Mongolian teams. So
Mongollara bir tane rangi.
Topple a lot of Huns, Jinx warriors.
Mongolian Teams dedi.
Especially the one over Game Legion to
Ne o? Nipten Mongollar budaktar.
Ata to Mongolian Teams dedi. Tu ara adını geçiyorlar.
Вот эти монголдар делер bu. 3-0 тагыстылар бит. Чете финал тагыстылар ди.
And that is them being defeated on Ancient for the first time in 10 games.
Передтер kadar биге.
Ata bu ninjalar hangi Hannaları?
Mübeppene. Salanka была. А так урут Шведы была впереди.
One thing we can say is their deagles bang, right? Their deagles hit very, very hard. And their aim...
сука, Мия.
A main push from Mizu as well in the second half. So they had some moments where their individuals showed their prowess. But in terms of comprehensive team capture, they're playing on a different plane to what you'd expect out of top teams, right? They're on their own juice. Yeah. So that's what...
Başka hangi gol anıydı?
Muhtarı? Hen?
Hangi site'ına?
Twitch?
But this is a survival series. This is about keeping your life in the tournament alive. And I would
say,
considering it's in Kazakhstan and Hotu has a couple of Kazakhstani players, I think Far East Russian as well, that you would be loving to be able to get yourself into arena. It would take 2 games, and it would take you turning this series around now when you're 1 in the hole, New Cup next. Yeah. So it's going to be tough.
It was Chopper in an interview, I think, he was giving with James Banks, talking about why this tournament is that this was an opportunity for his family to visit the event as well.
Yeah, Rinkle Jikidya.
See them in the arena. But I think for Spirit, there's, like, this is obviously not Chopper's opinion, this is mine. This is their event to lose.
Oh, and I think he had the similar sentiment that a win here would be very valuable on the lead up to the major. Just for confidence purposes, like the trophies have been eluding Spirit. Finals haven't been.
Yeah, the start of the year was kind to them, right? They won bounty, but then after that, it's been a lot more hit. I mean, it's been a lot more missed than hit. And they took a hit by not being able to go to Melbourne. So, look, I think overall, Wrinkle, you know, did have some stunning, impactful moments here. This is he took a while to get started. No kills on the pistol or the follow-throughs, but then after that, almost a kill at least in every single round. So Wrinkle, the star of the show for NIP, he is the highest-rated player. So you expect this type of performance to come out from him, or at least NIP should do.
And you can see on that map, it's just everywhere.
Everywhere, all over the place, wasn't he? So good job from Wrinkle, topping the charts there as NIP. Just 1 map away from staying alive. Up next will be Nuke. It is going to be their map choice, so they will be starting on the T side of that. And then coming up later today, well, we've got plenty more best of 3s for everybody. There is Furia versus, was it Odik? That's right. They took on MIBR yesterday.
Ooh, I'm intrigued about that game.
Against Odik, because Odik showed some nice highlight moments. Furia, they are 1 map to the good.
Okay.
Continuing with, oh no, wait. Odik picked Anubis into Furia. It feels like Furia are trying to make Anubis their home map. So that could have been a mistake. And then Train, currently live right now. Sorry, not live right now. We'll be going live shortly as the second map of that one. Second game for us today, however, is going to be Big versus G2. Taz.
They've given us the studio name.
Oh, Chad's house.
Welcome to Chad's house.
Yeah, we might even need to get a jingle at some point. You never know.
You're listening to Chad's house.
Hey, all
Just
right.
a workshop idea.
Let's go to a break, shall we?
Yeah.
Right. We'll be back shortly with map number 2 of NIP taking on Hotu.
it's been a long and very troublesome journey at times.
Это манна хатардан да гөрхтейтен туруда. Да.
You always do find a way.
Бала. Это.
Qualified through tough qualifiers, not just the open into the closed as well, to make it here to Astana. But it feels like this has been kind of just a long time coming for you guys, right? Of near misses on it or not being able to put up to that standard. How does it feel to be able to get back to this kind of event?
I mean, it feels good. I think we're kind of on track where we want to be in the sense that
Yani elleri paka bastıklardan kotadılar.
you can't really gather points, right? And that's the situation we've been in, that we have been needing to go through open qualifiers and play open LAN events. And I think now we kind of got, like, I think our first rank was like 180, then it was like 150 maybe, then we won the Astana closed, then it was maybe 80, and then we won Philadelphia, now it's 40, so it's
What do you got?
like I said in the first interview I did in January, that the goal was
şey boyları dediler diye.
because
Kotadıklardan.
as I said, gather points until you kind
Уже на
of
заметку.
but now
То
we're here and we
то
have
15 кибита değiller de.
chance to
Ha?
speed up the process if we do a good result here and get further than what our initial goal was, so obviously we hope for that.
What has it been like for you from being on like the top events, being there all the time and all that traveling, to then join into this product and have to not just grind your way back up, but like go through these online events? It's such a different environment, right? So like, how has it been for you to go through personally as a leader? This must have been tough.
I think it's kind of, it's kind of like a mental battle where you just have to accept the circumstances, but I also knew what I walked
Doğru
into
кассир.
because I could have taken
Бұдай
an
ниптар
easier
команды
road.
доктор
Some teams
капитанları.
already had a world rank, but I also felt like this project long term had better chances of surviving.
Etti miydi bari Sedan?
And I think now kind of where we are at number 4.
Bana trigger olur onlarda bu. Highlighter'dı.
Koy beni.
Kantoka. Ден Хакадовы.
Кантокада. Бейдес.
Переезд из Якутска, они вот.
Якутии, дюти, бата.
Чёрт.
Ребят, срочно к нам перенесли игру на 1,5.
Obviously they didn't fit 100%, so we've been trying to kind of fix the puzzle, and I think now we have people in the roles that we need, and I think we've been having kind of consistency with that for 2 months or so, and I think that's also why we saw that our results started to get better with obviously winning the Astana qualifier and winning Philadelphia. I know we fell in Lund.
Uaga turbo boost bitti batta doktor. Okutlar. Ayakta var ki karar bitecek. Ne bunun iki karar.
This nip we have right now.
Bir diklik anlayana.
Four of them, maybe off the server. It's true that Shushi's probably the kind of secondary.
Антурик болар pakız.
Experience, but I'd say in the server it's.
Ататак буда.
Atan tepçiki. Просто bastan kayakanadı. Bu bugün menlik budat o ayakta kıldırma yöremedim. Dokam yörene kahep. Dokka kıska. Ben baran onda eti askıga döbüt tugum tuğatacı. Alan crash'tan bir herimet nöte Türkiye bedi. Java vakta.
We will take it one game at a time, also because we know the first couple of games will make.
Прямо аккаунт надо. Он на прямо аккаунт надо не факт, что наблюдательный киран девкунд.
That we have in the back of our mind, and that's where I want to get as a first step.
Кыскины хам байди. Того пабу до такие до бобатай.
Been worth it to be in this situation again. Let's hope it pays off further for you, mate.
Thank you.
She said she loves you, but she can't love me.
But I love you.
window anymore.
What's going on?
Bartıgar bağları XBet'te.
Bartıgar. Ahmet'ten ağlılı pijamın adılları da.
Anta bunandır baydaktara. Ne başı stav kolabını. Kan stav kolabını dek. Başı döp. Вообще неинтересно, Мира.
Olayım fanbek ağam.
Abi bak kaçın değerli ustaydı bu kını.
Kimin de?
Ha.
Ya kayak bu. Desme havana üstün çeyin gıraçı men.
Ne? Onda alın pifkala yanlar.
Ya bu ne?
Öyle.
Üleri tuğa karayım bartakala kala.
Devlet Billa barını görüntüne bağlamadı. Cilerin gıtta uğurcuna bağlandı.
Ya. Abi kayın oynadım. Beramin bir tavarım var mı? Bir ana koyunun oynayan 5 tınçı açı bile.
Kas?
5 tınçı açı bir ana koyunun oynayan bile.
Atın ne постоянно было. En bir altın etti on buranın kotoran bu paydı. Любой ставкаларки.
Ya bu ne bu? Nolu kan hummandan oynuyorsun gibi. Nahirin diridi.
Отодла бастыга картаны, Владислав. Саха ола топ-1 фесит бола сылжыбыта пинг үшüye боллар. Сағалаттан по-любому әлбәқ кибер котлета болу этилер. Пингді үшüye de боллар еттіна. Возможно. Тәһриби дейін біттіғанда бағар Илон Маск манна терекетін біттіғана бағар Илон Маск'a қобынық бұтчанды пинга чотдан ені видеть.
Ата кем Тимиранық кереті батта?
Кемден алыран каминны бір оба манна. Пивка жамынды күтавды ол. Ой, кіді. Баталыш. Zaman пары замамыт. Дара бар алды.
Ama yiyor da.
Andık bakalım. Что-либо да.
Пивкатын lan что-либо да лакин. Там такой нулевка.
Гокушима номер 1 это ди. Илон Маск политика барда быйлак батта. Ата политикатын тураныр батта. Бәте тақарныр ди политикатта. Тоғы мен политикаға кибиде өте олды. Bir kıyma yapacak. Just korupsiya oldu bence. Bir de Allah'ına narut ki o. Ниптер кытан diyorlar onlar. Привет. Пока басты картını katırdık. 2 kartı bitirdiler. Evet. Belerin pikleri katırdılar ta katırdılar. Блин, когда докторы надо. Чё костай? Он не свангать от его, где-то так. Да, он не сванга. Бля, bu kalktı kayıları da ulan da das 2 oynuyorlar. Das 2 oynayacaktın das 2 emek şeyleri olu. Das 2'a hakla bir şeydi bana. Ne böyle daha? Bak Milan Drva. Нюктер пик тарабатта. Нюктер ба, ниптер пик тарабатта. Нюк.
Welcome back to Chad's house. It's where all the Chads, all
Ay,
the time.
God.
We got houses too. Welcome
Şu badı kırılır oldu diyekler. Divangay. Bir kanlı kitiye biti. Kukunya kaya mandı kola bokka.
I'm Machine, I'm your host. Chad Birchall. Your house.
It is my house. Welcome back to PG Astana 2025.
Yes.
We are the B stream. We start your day bright and early. Now we need to do two things. First one.
Два один каяларыня катылар. Беп болу этого.
Yes.
Is Forp awake?
Is Forp online?
Is he awake?
I'll
Now
ask
you can
Google.
check that. Now second point is this elimination game.
Is Forest streaming on Twitch now?
One of these two teams will be eliminated at the end of this series, and what we need to do to signify their life in the tournament, a little bit like.
Oh, I see you came prepared. Yeah. Yeah, that's why we
Уотар хотлар gömmelerler. Ondaganda
professional props person.
Umadar yapon.
He's got to go find a lighter now.
Dışga akıl vadde.
And I'll tell you that Forest is live. He's been live for an hour and 19 minutes. Yeah. He's watching.
Daha internet alas kredi var. Anladın?
Hi. Good to see you, man.
Does that mean that he wasn't live when the match started, and then
an hour and 19? I don't know. It was quite a quick first map.
I don't know if he caught all of it.
Might
But
not caught.
okay, so that will be the live.
Of Hotu.
Dere bu kotlaga.
And this will represent the life
Bu mi
of
kotlaga?
NIP.
Hi,
Daska.
everybody. I'm talking to Forest's stream now.
Okay, now we're cross-pollinating streams.
Yeah. Oh.
This light is not very good either.
I think holding a clipper upside down is half your, like, yeah, if you angle the candle, that'll work.
Come on, if NIP have a life in this tournament, there it is.
Hi, Chris.
There it is, everybody. Oh,
Hi,
okay,
Buddha.
there we go. Okay, great. Now we can get into the counter-strike.
Yeah.
So if you missed map number 1, you missed an odd game. You need to wear safety
Vay ne
goggles
hadan
as well.
Thank you.
You missed an odd game of CS on Ancient. Now, that was the map choice of Hotu. There were 9 consecutive, but a lot of those games were against Mongolian teams like Chinggis Warriors.
Hadi bilin kayıktıra.
They did knock, however, Game Legion out by playing Ancient. Regardless, they had the streak broken by NIP. Both of these teams in this event would mean an awful lot to them. For Hotu, there's a bunch of players in the team as well as the coach Mo who are locals. For NIP, this is part of a rebuild. This is the team going international, really embracing all parts of Europe. You've got Wrinkle in there from Ukraine. You've got 2 players in there from Portugal, being Ujerks and Aris Dos. And then you've got the Danish representation in the likes of Snappy, the in-game leader, and Shush, who is probably the most experienced member on the team alongside of Snappy.
Yeah.
Then you have the coach Exist there, who was with Shush on Heroic for a period of time, but once
Bu
upon a
da
time,
Djibouti
was
bitti.
part of the legendary NIP.
Bu ne karta investigata bu babada.
Forest with the likes of Get Right, Freiburg, and Fifi. So that's the constellation of NIP. They want to get some VRS points. So getting into a deep run, making it into the playoffs, winning some more prize money, getting some land wins means an awful lot to them. So right now, swatting away Hotu, an underdog, a Cinderella run team for this event of PG Astana 2025 will put them 1 game closer from being in the top 8.
What would be your estimate for the amount of best of 3s a tier 1 Counter-Strike team plays in a typical year?
Cool. So I was saying like a top 5, top 10
Yeah,
team?
like a vitality. Like, I don't know. What would be the number?
You're talking
Katılır.
5 to 8 games per event, unless it's a major.
Oğlum kısa vakı.
In the earlier stage, it could be a lot more.
Oh gosh. Okay, so this is full maths.
Yeah, so I don't know. We're probably talking close to 100.
Yeah. Okay. So they could technically get 87 this year.
Allara
We're
gittiler.
talking about vitality.
İnfa vatten ya.
Jesus.
Just theory crafted.
I think someone
I want
did.
Forest to get nervous.
Kim istedi yapma. Bırak kıpa. Yapın. Bir kine ayda tutu.
For one, Wrinkle does go down, but Ujerk's trade.
Hadi o bille. Tut tipe gidiyor.
Nice work from Shush. Gets that instant headshot on the Glock. Bomb to be planted.
Bile biz de kırılır kanalım. Bu olan şey. Lampada.
Remaining 3 of them, and Lapada makes it a little easier.
Ha bille. Vuruş bile. O da kalır ha.
Range one onto Shush.
Bille. Kıdı ektirin lampadını. Hep bir gire. Es. İki de bitti. Ben. Oh boy. Bu yasimi.
Yeah, I suppose he could actually turn this around, but I mean, for Aros DOS, it feels like this is a comfortable 1v1.
I don't need the time now.
If you sit there and go for a 10 second.
Oh, bille etti bile.
All right, just had to pull him off the
Вот это мына көжөндөр пуштулар. Кете ихтерне карадыкты.
series falling in the favor of NIP.
Макнула. Эрки бол, эркон бол.
Хатуларга ставкалаан кэйн бу карта.
Хотуларга ставкалаан кэйн бу картага дебет. Макмила мактал поддержкагар.
There's two sides to that coin, but they didn't win the map.
Ставкалан ставкалан.
Clearly saying that Snappy thinks that they can come in here and really turn the
Ин
screw.
ставкалаат.
As for that
Ставкалан ибекив.
part of their Philadelphia victory, a 13-0, a 13-4.
Мактал поддержкагар. Макмила. Тапталите де күйстә.
So confidence for NIP coming in.
Вот это тогы дюкуня командир будакта. Дюкуня крадыка те кадете вот кидерен бля кадерен. Хорош дюк, блядь. Бля, тусина я по. Вот подда. Бля, кидан хайда. Тера, физикига.
He did it on Ancient as well.
He did it on Ancient indeed. This is a round over now for NIP. Udrex is low. Well, yeah, Udrex is low on the B side with the bomb. Shush has to get to him somehow.
Blah.
Oh,
that's a free frag.
Okay, maybe not over. Vent to top now. It's about this lobby push.
So Udrex will plant. Coming in from that lobby approach, it looks like he's going to be cleared out just in the nick of time. Didn't spot him. So now, element of surprise. If he just walks out, he'll be able to put the bullet into the backside of you.
You got that. Bet.
Gets his free frag now. Just implies.
Smoke
Smoke looks okay for a fake defuse. Yuka anticipating Shush's position, has to get on the bomb. The Hut player's not seen him, not cleared him. What's going on?
Ah, ballet.
Now a 10-second hold cardio.
Ballet.
Next, Shush will clutch sharp, threatening round, and they capitulate. Shush comes up clutch.
Okay, and Snappy trying to bring the energy there as well. So that's the second big clutch that Shush has had so far in this series. On Ancient as well in a 1v2 situation. But yeah, just that individual of Kadia, top heart.
Did 5 баратладе токтуйду.
Shush goes overlooked. Thinks he's under more pressure than he is. Duke does really well to get the double there, doesn't he?
I want to see it from Kadio's perspective. Maybe if he had a different view model, he'd have seen Shush.
That's true. That is possible.
That's 2 days in a row we've seen frags missed because of
view models. Ruin lives.
That's it. That's what I'm trying to
say.
All
view models save lives. It really depends on which side of the fence you sit.
Yep. Oh my god, the odds are blown even further out. And I think it's apparently the worst thing ever, according to bookies.
Yeah, well... The way that we've seen Hotu play, it's very huggy.
Yeah.
I think Nuke is where, if they can't get like a shutdown CT side, which by losing and likely the consecutive, it is really going to cost you. Slunk down the ladder behind them. Look at him, he's trying to stay nimble.
Best case with your pistol, just get sits, I guess.
They are peeling this one apart, aren't they? So there's an extra gun. Maybe you're enticed now, but I think you should hold on to the AK. See if you can do some more damage on the exits. But yeah, these second rounds, right? We always talk about how hard they are. It gets harder and harder, right? I feel because one of the other things we talk about in modern CS is just how many moves there are now, or understanding. There's a Rai, Udrex doubles up. So then you think about that. If there are more moves or a better understanding on how to use weapons or utility, even of lesser variety. Those second rounds have never been more difficult.
Hülbekatan pike davatlar. Hülbekatan kalabalık inde istiyor. Körüyor o da bunlar.
Indeed, I love it. I really love the auto shotty.
It's a very powerful weapon.
Some people pull out the AWP when they're having a bad game. I pull out the auto shotty.
I see.
Во, дробаш подо, побзам подо. Мизу хорош.
Mizu sees Shush, takes him down through the smoke.
So the clutch man's gone.
Лампада дробашта.
Space from Udrex very early in towards warehouse.
Дюк хорош. Лампада хорош.
Лампада молодец.
The
Juke.
shotgun activates.
Duguna rule na oraman.
Eventually, you jerks and Wrinkle. Now, the fact that Wrinkle's still alive, I'm not counting him out.
Evelyn saving na saktaratta. Bet bet. Abam ke bab. Bit.
Teammate though, you jerks just gets his head blown off by the sniper rifle.
Everyone's half HP.
Yeah, so
Üs sakola. Hakola tambalagana. Lampada yoka na mizo yuna kadar onda iki kazak. Udra komanda kimnya khanudaların bepin.
They all push him, which
they
feels
have
like that's what they like to do.
Alert tap. Oh, balapata.
Shotguns come in secret stairs, which isn't the weapon.
Sabab infa ba.
The tease. Is it really going to be a full walk?
The just 5 haqa komanda.
Okay, Wrinkle's saving.
That's a shame.
Okay, well, Lampada might be able to get himself an AK. That'd be nice. That'd be a nice little upgrade from the shotgun. What's going on here? Wrinkle, are we going? We're saving.
Saving actively.
But we're actively saving. We're not going to just go sit in the corner. Fair enough. Someone in Twitch chat said Forrest is mad at us.
What did we do?
I don't know.
Oh.
Etti. Göster bilin spokojnie. Balla. Tamara infa var da tamam var.
Aren't you two on the same team?
We played together at Valve HQ.
Eba.
Wow, Team South.
He gave me some good advice.
To'nji barları de. Kala saving ne tawla.
Sometimes you're not fully.
Kaçıka hayat edde.
Peak with confidence. I
was doing
half things where I'd like do the movement, but I wasn't fully expecting someone to be there.
Kemal'in kadıya terası dürür kedi bitirdi. Bayağı bir bilete oldu başıyım kapat.
On the corner.
I had like X-ray.
Pablo can you olur boxları.
Okay, all right, that's interesting way to frame it. Lampada didn't get an AK. So I want to see more of this shotgun.
Let's go. He's already gotten his first onto arrows, DOS.
Evet, ki kadar çok paki wala patta. Balla security. Abzan ince paki wala.
Does get traded.
Be kurti bir tik na wani na bundu amman khochu ni yego.
You're definitely not pushing that. That's a death sentence. Smoke held by a shotgun.
He's sad because we called him a slacker.
Oh, he didn't make the start of the show.
Was he there for the start?
No.
So
I understand it's 7 a.m. in Sweden. I checked.
Yeah, but are you a ride or die, or are you just a
it's true.
Plastic fan?
Didn't see your boys win map 1.
Didn't see them win all of the rounds.
All the
they
rounds,
won.
yeah, exactly.
We were here. Where were you?
Probably being a father.
Hidde. Bunda. Bu kumaydılar billa. Yaman. What do you hang
Shush continues to unleash the fury. Dink, and he drops. Wrinkle gets the trade. Bomb to be planted. Yuka 1v2. Oh, info on both essentially.
Yeah, he knows where they both were.
Did I know that?
Position here from Wrinkle gets as far away from the angle as possible.
It's the AK.
Looking for that one tap.
Balla.
Trying to isolate these jewels, and Wrinkle, he will prevail.
Okay, well done. So NIP lose around, but they immediately respond with one of their own, and now that's going to put financial pressure onto Hotu. 4.5 for Kadio, 4.8 for Mizu, 4.6 for Yuka. Those three combined, even Duke could get out a rifle with Kevlar. Maybe they want to take a tactical timeout just to discuss their options, because there is enough to justify a buy. It's just Lampada not on a lot, and if he's playing over towards topside, could definitely work with the fire.
Imperial fulla. Moda.
Just shout out to more clips. Said they're not going to be active in chat tonight. They're meeting a girl, in brackets a real one, in half an hour. Wouldn't expect us to understand. Fair enough. Don't DM me asking where I am.
Вот якийсь раунд стартер того, по идее.
Actually really interested in it.
Что это было, блин? Якийсь раунд, бля, в этом Зачем бегает туда-сюда? Почему там который лама говорит, нет? Он чек-то акым долго. Just тупой дюля.
Yeah. Always be protected. All right, well, Lampada is operating with just an SMG, rifles for everybody else, but you two extremely lacking. Two aren't going to have too many options. Blocking will run out.
Дюк хорош, куда дюк трыло? Бгейм я, павзан брата, митурган аранжер еп.
Хайла нетинг павзан брата.
Вот эти кимерадин, евджерс кздыдинки. Она манан кирет батта, куртигна хай, абны хадыр.
you jugs will be keeping him honest.
Binde toga. Puştan arana kıyıp. Yukput.
Communicate the secret cross.
Şey gitti.
Tip draba.
Duke's just
Baka şu diye
so
pin.
they don't know that nobody's down.
No.
I don't. This is so strange. Now the top players will have to be responsible for main, or at least consider it.
Aja kız atıgın hok bula. PUBG bulam ne? PUBG. Trudno yürüdüm ben.
So you've got an SMG.
Kız bara hatırı dibit kırdak betten oynadık
They're
betten.
gonna reboost. This could be bad timing. When does this molly come in? Oh, they're so lucky. Here it comes.
Anti-flash.
Gitler. Блядь, Гитлер. Kuruş yone. Блядь, такası dibit ki блядь. Yone. Yuha hok tikimden anayı. Yuhan. Блядь, sıhhat açtın hat. Ağızda kadar yuha. Kadar da kasabı ki. Блядь, молодец.
Comes on in, finds that fight. It was the second round for Hotu.
Bir killa, iki killa kadar.
An interesting little maneuver there from Duke, but it got them a lot of information, and that boost coming just in time. If that boost was happening once,
Великий ужасный Бабзан Хок. Великий ужасный.
scuttling off the side. That's Duke. Yeah, Sappy top silo. And then as they execute in towards A,
Anamın blinkine geliyor.
a couple of bangers.
Kazandı.
I think it's a yell from another game. At the same time, obviously we have Fury taking on Odic.
Sounded like an Odic scream.
Sana aman yıkıl. Бля, кадео мимо надырır. Хами куансири да. Bu кадео alır bitti. Уже инде нар постанылır. Pakıdılır. Kara blin kадео kilometre kapıda ayıktır. Nar mandaları hep nar ölür. Ne pozisyonun bir olur pat.
Koy cirolara
Here they go.
О, молодец. Китл мен этербини итте балакытты. Явно Манна беблячи. Бет. Размен бак улук şu кадео. Блядь, улук şu. Заебись.
Инфоварда düştü. İstimet dedi bir de.
Ого, блядь. Hızını vurdadı. Yone.
Dedi la üyetin tüyeri.
From Hotu actually stringing together a consecutive defense.
Yeah, and that is going to break the finances of NIP. So I should see them into just some like, hey, give me my high five. Or I guess technically that's a low
Ürünken
five.
kokol. Tokta buldum bile.
Technically, and that's what we like to be around here. Very technical
Kotladınlar.
bunch of chaps.
Good to see Mo. Isn't it nice to see Mo?
Yeah, not
Lampada
great to see
player.
not putting up too much of a fight yesterday against the Mongols, but great to see Mo.
Just go to the
They have
patron.
a code. They forced again in IP. Okay.
That's a choice.
Okay, they're
Кадео
going
местило батани.
When in doubt, repeat the call.
Bak.
Ай, куда?
Çekeden göre böyle hatırladım.
Ты пистолеттерил алар не так бир эти павзан брата тохта куржулах. Лаки.
Hello bu kadar.
Бля, кадео еп.
Flash got a track close player. Ooh, messy from him.
Дюк пара биттагата.
outside lurk.
Дюк ким хайда?
Down with MP9.
Павзан братын хайдыра.
Timing, not too bad.
Bir daha da bir.
Блядь. Блядь. Yo bana.
İkinin haydi bunlar.
Trish will trade it out. Still very intense 3v3, and this is where that shotgun is not.
Kısa makıydı bu.
Some of these fights not great for harder.
Блядь, yo bana. Bet.
It's a good dig to punish the
Kısa man.
second part.
Bu bir bitir hep bitir блядь.
Vallahi.
Pakayda блядь.
Huge flank into the back of the head of Yuka. Shush will put the cherry on top, and that
First kill
force
for
by.
Snappy.
Yeah, it works out. Is it really?
Yeah, and
Wow.
Aristos is
Да кадео нулардан рejektin. Да ба итак дөнөр бутакта бастыгы маштырыгы, икис маштырыгар иннелер постоянно покыдылар. Такой улар капитан токанадны. Башы тоглардан бийиктеринне.
Now, what does this do to the cash money situation? It's going to be the second tactical timeout call from Hotu quite early in this CT
It is
piece.
whack, Chad. It is absolutely whack.
То ли башы сразу АФК алрат юннада марыңга өлүп бисирген.
Buck short of an M4 with armor.
Улардан ары балак мо.
Talking about the bar.
Молодец, улар.
Talking about,
Onu kanala.
it does come out. constant X factor is Hotu.
Тренера хавадак, тренера казах.
Yeah, I mean, their individuals just hit. All you need is a deagle and a
Буга,
position.
почти, да.
See output. Shot.
Кадева бастык смаштын жавалары жехеги. Тукка. Онюларга. Унна hem bir kiden nıgıtı dururlar. Afrika ölüründen. Nar kireldir kine.
Eye test tells me that like
Kadar babı değil bilin körü kara.
any more of these rounds than
Altız.
Ben bir oldu ki duracak.
Блядь, ёбаный. Так, энер бабатна девка.
same kind of thing on CT nuke. Limited block resources and NIP, they've got plenty. So
I guess
what Snappy wants.
Yeah, and it also one of the things the
An keder yapıttı. Hatta madem mi keder anı bildiğinde beda. Afrika rajonları tappada.
with that read of the play, maybe they can pull it off again. Or progressing ramp. So they will start to search. This is a great position to post up Yuka. Still a great possession.
Yeah.
Here.
Molly
Bet.
out Limpardo. If he can just live, that would be huge. They might start pushing into that Orpa's scope.
Still 50 seconds right now, NIP.
Туй ёки.
Coming into lobby.
Ары унды колданы bir hayal açат.
Хорош. Демби.
Блядь, ёбаный. Өссө.
Arostos removed.
Bir.
Бля лампада минус.
Lampada sayılı iste.
Had a good prediction as to where he'd be,
Şimdi minus falan açtı oldu.
but low 3v3.
Badlar alır havalı.
Ya ne be.
They stack top. They can rotate on the
Toqatu
bench.
yuki manda hayal. Toqan dara tüy körün turbada.
Harass from single if they want to stall
Böl
this
betime
plan.
toqadını
15
kınan
seconds, he's gone double door side.
Bet.
Versus a Mac 10 and he's handed
Хорош юг. 2 кı.
Be. Блядь, ёбаный. Bomba değildir bolla блядь.
a golden
Değildir
opportunity.
bolla блядь.
First planting. Yes, he is.
İtti
Бля,
уже.
пошел, бля.
That gets it down. Usually
А
providing
ну
the
на.
cover and fire bomb.
Ну нахуй, бля.
They go.
Ата юки нахуй не выдуй, бля. Тоqa не выдай юки. Ох, тоqa. Анраты көрін тұру завла, хотя бы рақтын.
Wanted it or not, sure.
Өте білей, бүгі
Do
керегіңі.
handle that one, and yeah, Mo, he knows how close that one could have been. It wasn't a
Юки
great
бір
buy,
қығы
so
өті
the fact
өте.
it was close at all. I think
Heri.
you should be
Dur,
impressed
bu
with
senin
that,
duruq
but that
daydı.
is the game now starting
Deyim
to
baran
slip out of
prosta.
the reach here for
Bak
Hotu.
kapitanlara-
We'll have to I say they'll have to.
Hayavda bol.
Bir yakal diyet ama. Bir yakal diyet ama.
O, anadaq bol. Benim körüm deyip oğlu. Al kapitanları kimdi? Juk.
Continue to run this T-side campaign.
Yok
with
ha.
rifles heavy. Snappy feels like he has a Mac 10 every goddamn round.
Hadi blядь.
Turks currently going around the corner with
Хорош ты, блядь, oğlu.
Dinked up now. It's going to be from the corner
böyle
of
al.
the box. So
Gıman karavarun bildiler.
damage being done. It gets connected to that one. So he slips and slides outside. It is going to be NIP comfortably handling
Oh.
his eco. The mop and bucket out as Snappy on top of Silo with the Mac 10 able to take down Yuka. And it's just going to be old mate Duke and Lamparta to find as well. Lamparta will take down Snappy.
Kim Juk kadağını pikti orada diye.
He is 7-3 for the Ninjas in pajamas, looking to add their
Emi doktora ki biter yavruları gel.
today.
Kadak people bu demeye. Bastık artık.
And that's a decent scalp in World Counter-Strike at the moment. Sure, they're not world beaters, but they're definitely a bigger name than what NIP have been playing in recent history. Still working back to being a top org in Counter-Strike. VP actually, just to continue that little story arc, taking on Astralis later in the day.
Should be good.
Top of main. The line ready to
Bet.
drop in and gets caught mid-air. Duke continues.
Блядь, Juk kadaya oğudla bırakmadı.
Yeah, and Limpardo
Kadaya aldılar ha.
Блядь, ты ебаный.
out for him.
Туду.
He did do some damage to Snappy, but this time empty-handed.
Молодец, хadi teydi gibi.
Flashed into the hell position.
Okay, so you've got the low HP of Snappy. It's really on Wrinkle because Aristos still with only
Hadi bu ki hayırlı buldu.
time for him to wake up. Wrinkle stepping out the door. Does he want to play ahead of the
Блядь.
side? Yes, he does.
Hadi
Opens
блядь.
third, and that forces the swing.
Still gets it. Yuka spotted dropping in. That's
Хорош.
Блять, Юка.
Бар.
Бьёный. Ты когда вот ты спиден?
Теперь кот на там тупинности. Мебля.
Блять, ёбаный. Хорош.
First he overlooks the second. Yeah, nice.
It's so weird that there's 2 players there already with the complexion of that round. So, yeah, just Hotu staying as a pack, able to rotate into that final round now is going to have some emissions in the buy for NIP.
Там всегда есть, конечно. Даже
It's good. No, Snappy will be on a Mac 10 or something again.
вон түйөкө отурган кыйыктарын хеп. Даже вон бирге. Вон бирге отурган кыйыктарын хеп.
Sitting and waiting for Snappy to jump into his jaws.
Бир вон бирге то есть.
And there's Duke again. So, still competitive. Hotu, not done just yet. Can they walk away with 5 before the halftime break? Well, they're by a little bit battered too. Cadia with a Famous and P9 for Lampada, not the shotgun. Couldn't afford it. A little bit too costly.
Это кадеоня просто мен бәмана спедевити бастангытын көрүн бастыгы матчтарын көрүн халадамди. Блин, нет кадео хатан олоп бастан кимине дупат нар бадан прибалатын тахарыны. Эти или алра дүйүн надади. Марын көрдүк. Кини не олормон нада вообще. Бэт, блядь! Да, блядь, там какие-то троллейбут. Бэт, Юка.
Crazy yard output. He's put him in a winnable position.
Юка зверь. О, блядь, там на какие битровали ёны.
They're just going to be Duke. 1 versus 2 to work with. That sound of the vent break will it lead?
Сама Дюк. Арка бы Дюк арк сырди.
Like that. Duke falls back, slips out. Is he going to gamble B?
The bomb's
Başkan Wilbet böyle hatta.
Oh, that changes everything. Excuse me.
بدا بدا كده اميك تخبيك بول بلا.
Just looking the wrong way. Yeah. Look where the bomb is. That's a tough grab. If he was patrolling the bomb, to have to jump up to get that is so awkward.
They're
just making sure because it isn't that odd spot. Now they can step on up. Wrinkle and Arrows DOS.
استراب والله هو والله.
Can they get this done?
Hadi şu vat gördü. Başta ya bak gördü.
Looks like it.
Benim olan.
The timing to get down vents. It looks like he's taking.
O bir nedin bile.
No info. So he's just going to have to wait for a sound cue unless he.
100 kill'ini bırak bakın
crazy flow. But it'd be weird just to rotate down the vent now. So he's just going to have to stick to his guns. The position he's picked is main. We'll give him a quicker rotation point. So as soon as this door swings open, confirmed. Duke now knows. Can start to rotate down the vent. He descends and caught by Aris DOS. 4 kills for him in the half, and that will be 8 for NIP in total. So that is a commanding lead on the T side. You feel at this point NIP should be destined to close this one down.
I think they're certainly just feeling like it's business as usual. Things chugging along nicely. Not too much disruption. I think had Ancient been taken, Hotu would convert it. Would have been looking at a different confident. But this right now, it just feels like they're just putting it in.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at the moment as well, just at what you can expect with NIP's run so far. Their most recent game, which was a loss, was to Aurora, who started the tournament in a very slow fashion, I would say. And they're trying to turn it around since, but they did topple NIP. There was an Anubis in there. NIP won Train, and then on Inferno, it was 13-8. Didn't actually catch that game myself, so not certain on the swing rounds or how close it really was. But it's good to see these type of results coming out from the one on the screen right now feels like it should be a certainty if you want to consider them to be taking steps in the right direction. They also had that match against Spirit where they did time on Train. On Dust 2. They were absolutely getting bent over on Dust 2.
I will say that the NIP Inferno was very uninspiring.
Okay. Well, I think when you look at it, VP Spirit and Aurora, names up until this point, or let's say bigger names than maybe what they're used to at the moment. Hotu have played against Pain, that was a loss. They lost to Aurora as well, and they beat Gamer Legion, which still just absolutely baffles the mind. Having a hard time wrapping my head around.
I mean, that's
result.
not like yesterday. We were ending our stream talking about Gamer Legion 0-2. Get ready, here they come, and after what playoffs in Melbourne, they've not been able to make playoffs here in Astana.
Yeah, this is a devastating result for them as well because they are essentially each event.
언덕입니다.
and VRS points
Oh,
for next
자, 자.
season.
Just to make sure that they get invites to the same kind of events.
언니도 그 밖에 자도 그러더라고 싶더니.
So that you can take a step further to develop your game, right? You're obviously a competitive team against the big names, but it is just a shame to see them falling.
언니는 그 그러진 스트림 공부하는 것다.
Second half, pistol round, ramp rush.
Classic. Rush round.
미국 어차피 길을 둘러 그뒤 있다. 자, 뭐 완전 маска яхтар мында бу базар ран хаятыр надо. Хорош. Бля, ну на размен служу что что. Бет.
Instantaneously. Shush long range Glock headshot finds him. Miku makes that happen. There's going to be a ramp centric retake.
Пистолет кран по идее. Мы пистолет ахиар талахи.
The team flash that doesn't help.
Let's execute it down because he's a big white
Бет.
light.
Дюк. Хорош. Бля, когда они хорош, дюк. Бля.
Duke will let you.
Yeah, I really think back
Bitte,
off.
logo.
That's great for the stats, but otherwise
Тип туад.
try and hold on to the armor if you
А,
can.
нахуй, тебе пиздец.
Tuck tail over towards CT spawn to get out of the way of the radius of the bomb. There's going to be 3 players staying alive. Duke with 2 in that one for me.
Тривер агыртак чата макар дериненде.
As Hotu will pick up the
Алло.
second half pistol
Алло.
round. So we've
Алло,
split
алло.
pistols.
Здорово. Здорово.
Здорово.
That's 3 out of the 4 though in favor for Hotu.
Виталий.
So far.
Туда.
Kulak kanına var.
Can they have a half?
Ama katülün. O ne diyorsun?
Onu ucudun da.
Near
Hava.
insurmountable.
See how
Ubada.
they operate now with their
Hadi bakalım, bilmem.
force approach because it's likely to see
Aa.
an IP chipping in with a force spike.
Yep.
Why does Duke look so stressed, bruh?
He always does.
I know you're on the precipice of elimination, but you know, round at a time, you just won the pistol. All right, Rico with the
Tere.
scout. MP9 for Shush. MP9 for Snappy.
Уолаттар кытатын.
And you jerk. Top rush. Here we go.
Уолаттар кидлер, бля, жуш ёбаный.
Shush comfortably dispatches of one. Down
Че
the
баты
lane.
кидлер?
Хорош.
One of the big
Блядь, хорош ёбаный. О, бля. Бля, тихо ну кван пистолет вас на япон.
Body shot, not enough.
Вон таптыр еще идет.
3. Bomb to be planted.
Бомба епики. Ханар бомба.
Pop that in.
Hadi блядь.
Limited damage.
Опять он
MP9
налетит,
at
гадер,
range,
блядь.
shipping Yuka down. Defensive smoke. The bomb and
Блядь, да, блядь. Юко вот найдлер.
He did Yuka, so the bomb needs to be picked up by Cardio or
do
Duke.
you go? Yeah, you know that both are there though. You know Aristos and Wrinkle.
Başka mı kanı kule diyecek?
There'll be a player heaven though. Aristos is heading heaven.
Allah'a
already.
sen tadı.
Aa.
Doesn't go up the ladder, goes round.
Okay, I guess the MP9 up heaven.
Doysa.
Abla bu git oraya.
Aa, doysa tuğrun ne bak. Kunya var jola hat.
Has. Up the vent though. He's dead.
Guttab
short.
dikla kanar. Ama ara mı kanar yani?
Go through it?
Aslında. Beni kirin.
He confirms
Haydi billa.
Блядь, ёбаный.
Duke gets jump scared.
Пикай дома.
Cardio's 1 HP.
Пикади была, пикади была, блядь.
Close and he will follows through. Gets
Только
it
вот
done.
пикай не надо. Шифтан такад.
Have a round stolen away from
Это бар танук по
Couple of
бадарга.
times in these halves we've had the force
Звук тарба
wars.
кола.
Когда как шиптан тақваттар.
Right, that
Унны
one
мәне
kill
yürüke
CT
eyler.
vent player. I thought that
На
the volley
нике.
was going to really work
Hüden
against
takın
him.
надо по
If he
идее.
flushes the player out, it means that
Приватный
they're able
канал.
to focus far. Well, actually doesn't mean
Абба,
that.
инде кулактарын ыйыппадылар.
It flushed him wide. Aristos hunted that down. Still kept Wrinkle's excavation up the vent stunted, but very well handled regardless. They pieced that one together. Good job.
Kulak diye kasattak ne eli galiba bana. Kulak deyince onları öpmüyor.
Just getting the player on the backside Cardio low as well with the
True, yeah.
MP9 really made that a guarantee.
Юкти мына батак нормальный по идее.
Win the fight before he just gets a bullet in the side.
Тагара
All right,
оньон
well done,
рәдлер.
Nico. There'll be flashes into this A play. How good are these flashes?
Быхтари, блядь.
Винтиге.
И
О,
он.
винтиге кирен холи кибетин курду хаят. Белен туруручу.
Hey, the bomb's ramp. The bomb ramp?
Yeah, it's B. It doesn't even matter.
Oh, down the vent. Okay. All right. Well,
Bu kartta katan yavattırın bir ba olimpik tilda ba.
ahead now. They've really
Bolu.
lose the pistol, win the second. You're in the driver's
O te belanın
You just
pikleri
close this
kontrollar
down.
diye
You're on the
hazır be.
CT side. It's your map choice. You know you're on the cusp of getting the job done, and then you get to take a look at what teams you simmer into playing against tomorrow. I'd love to have NIP versus Astralis for a spot.
Yeah, didn't they already play?
No, not yet. No, but that would be a fun. Like two organizations that were once great,
Yeah, right.
both struggling.
redemption tour.
Sumukta mı alır atıyor alın.
Yabi ends down. Well, the guns are back in the hands of Hotu. Is there anything left?
Ay блядь, блядь. Sumuk numi hayashta mizu.
Snappy commits to an MP9 fight that's not really the optimal range.
I reckon Snappy
Oh, the блядь.
if he had rifles.
I think you're making good points.
I get it.
He's selfless,
but
Ano pa
get a
halak
rifle with more Snappy. You get a few more kills, mate.
He just wants the wins.
Sure. No, I'm with you. But
why not?
Kills get you rounds.
Yeah, that's
So-
true too.
All right, well, KDO will be not long for this world. You know exactly where he is, and Snappy with the rifle.
Tabu,
in hand,
KDO,
will him, and he's
KDO
fighting
dina
it.
baktig
Like,
do
this is the
batawat to,
thing.
ha?
You should
Kahalami.
be hyped up about this.
This to KD bla.
Yeah, they are owning them. They're ragdolling them. But this is a team that has been spending the entire season trying to grind back
Ito bala,
into the
iti
realms of,
ladro, ikaw
the
na
T1
maturar
category.
garir ka mo.
Now this is the biggest event for them.
Paano batawat pala ako tagidig
They were
bla?
able to get a good result here. The flow effects of this
Solar
for
dot
next
bapo.
season, right, where the invites come in after the tournament break, will be coming back into play about mid-July, I think. So we go on tournament break after the
Sudah terpuang nata.
tournament
Майдалаш.
break officially starts, runs for about a month. I think
Ata
there's
pabua
a
sa kala
official
balad
tournament
da.
first, but then it goes straight into Cologne.
Oh.
I think the official tournament may even overlap with the end of the break, so might not see many teams attending that.
Пабуга чипчики. Дигна манна катир. Но пабуга он популярна ню вот так.
Regardless, getting a bit ahead of myself.
Кэс кундук, дота кундук. Урут популярна де бастан пабуга. Биргин вообще наоборот поняват бонар леджан.
With a flash.
Азраптар метахпайлар. Дигна на решение по идее. Пабуга. Бит, блядь, на.
Gets maximum output out of the
Пахай.
Сухо вообще.
One magazine, 3 sprayed down. Snappy comes in to sweep.
Bitki varların koşsanızda.
All right, one more gun round available. Hotu. This will be the
Brabar,
end of
bem,
your
budulu
story.
kadlar, bem, budulu olur olma.
With some twists, some turns.
They got a win.
Bu ne olsun be? Pabuga aha. Sonra risk behar.
They shouldn't have lost that.
Zonu bir tayıklar.
I feel like, yeah, you.
Anne me
this is the
opnad.
thing. For M80, who lost to G2 yesterday, I think Def, the coach, described it as a horror show.
Yeah.
I think that's a loss that will cause a lot of reflection pre-major. Very bad loss.
Still recoiling from the loss of Malbs.
Well, they even had a glimmer of hope when Lake first joined.
True.
So I think that Malbs also isn't playing great on G2.
Mhm.
Okay, well, Duke continues what Duke
Yukarı
does.
on yukarı dugara kadar bunu yuka.
Quite comfortable and confident with his aim, Duke. Feels like he's had a good understanding of this. His teammates just haven't been there with him along for the ride. Man advantage.
Kadroin forward'da.
Tasty morsel for you, Jerks.
Когда у которых что ли?
Now, how does he approach this fight? He's got his teammate Snappy posted up for any wide swing, so he can kind of stay close to the wall or just stay lobby. You don't need to push the issue, despite this being a 4v5 against them. Heaven flank looks like it's going to catch him completely off guard. Actually, no, he's accounted for
He's
it.
tucked.
He's tucked.
Бэт! Бля, когда уебан.
Snappy!
О, да.
Oh, two available.
Бля, киден сайсы бэт. Бэт, бэт.
Flash off Duke. 2v4. I'm on the back of Yuka.
Empty side should be their round. They catch a really good timing.
Что ты демон гонял до второй?
Players entrenched in Hunt. A Molly lands to secure that. A Heaven plant will come in. An extending play for a moment. There you go. 12-6. Hotu will grab back another round. Jerks does spot out the head. Doesn't immediately pull the trigger. Wants to make sure he got the guaranteed shot on the kill. And, well, grabs it. Now they can switch to Portuguese, these two, in this moment.
Инфаны көттін ұнна тоғы пикті ағыны. Тоғы саға бақыны. Бары біліғын тоғы саға. Маны көті хан ол бақы что ли манны?
Just want an AK.
Just positioning to see if they...
You're out of time now. Damage. They're just looking for damage. Okay, well, he dropped in. He gave it a go, huh?
Yeah, just in case Hotu were a bit keen on their exit.
Okay, well, the thing is, with that type of a round, the reason that would probably never happen is they know that if they lose that round, the game's over. So you're normally on high alert in those situations. If that was just another round, then maybe you get away with it. But if you're in the situation, you know, if we lose this, it's over, then your head's not on straight.
Yeah,
fair.
So
if they're looking for damage, they did some, and that's going to see 2 Galils around the 3 AK-47s, but still plenty of cash for NIP. So same story as the previous. Nappy wants to do it with the org in hand.
Это когда его карта няват, то бас точно бидлер. Бастыга тоқтан халан бу картаны там биббет оннон няват адам. Біз стрельбата бат бу карта атавар биббет.
You're still available on the roof to harass for an A pop. We've got 2 Molotovs lined up with flashes as well. So it's going to be about to take a look at who's home. Well, it's Shush. He's got company. And he's not in Chad's house.
Flashes, so it's kind of like a fake top.
What a kid left. Malat, хорош.
And one is all Shush gets.
It would be a retake though, and NIP, they do have residual cash, but they want to give this one a go.
Caddy responsible for heaven.
Cool.
Okay, you give it a go now.
Lobby, you definitely will give it a look. Easy keeps it level.
Bet. What? Блядь, это бир. Bir round'luktan kurtulurlar bile. Bir round bir dakikada.
The attempted retake.
Anlık olanlara.
Şey bat oynanırlar diyor.
Barı tamam oynuyorlar.
Yıllar ama bitirir.
But if they lose the side again, then maybe we see them go for a save. And there's going to be a second timeout. So, exists. Just calming it, boys. We just need one more round. It's all good. We've still got cash. That's fine. Why did we leave Shush on his own on A right there? What was so important elsewhere? Why were we weak on this point of the map?
Напада бастыгата это ничего до него давда. Это бу карта башат аня вата багту вата.
You don't need to do anything too crazy. Nobody needs to be going for any crazy picks or anything like that. Just make sure that the top side isn't completely under fortified. We know that Shush is a absolute monster. But let's not put so much weight on his back, shall we?
Без равно там begin лох. Старайся нахтарна могут по идее.
Kind of a second timing because there was a flash.
Yeah, but the reason that doesn't make sense is your mollies, as you saw with Shush there, it only pushes him out of position. If he's flashed while that happens, that's great.
Yeah, sure.
If he gets
a top
rush.
So much on the Arrows gets one.
They saw the bomb.
Okay, Penny drops. Already players down here on ramp responding, swinging through. U-Jugs trying to skim across. It is denied. Arrows it's his domain defense. Triple kill from Arrows DOS.
That's it.
Yeah, Hotu, the audacity to be called an event drop to try and seal the deal, try and extend play. NIP, make it so
after a trip to
a star.
Okay, so kind of a bit of false confidence there. 2 gun rounds back to back, and then they just
Ya
dropped.
Uolаттарбыт döydülür bu onlarda.
It was premeditated to be event type, which couldn't be any more of a coin toss. It's a shame that I'm having to be analytical on their final round of play, but that's a bad call. Hot tour. NIP spat on that thing, and they're eliminated. As, well, there's Trolls Robble. He is son of Lars.
Опыт Тибет опыт Тибет. Атак шуйд бе шуй онюгда битерилер, экономиши онюгда битер.
They did pick up a victory.
Бүгүн онюгда бастыгы оняадан куду болду.
Scalp to take. Shout out to Duke on this second map of play. He did definitely have some very big moments, or at least consistent moments on the rifle. But only 4 rounds in the CT half, that's not enough. Hotu, they come in, they get some land experience.
Вот bu turniere görenler ошибкаларын билени öğretirler bunlar. Şurada как.
Over Gamer Legion.
Атагыраак тийдилер.
Pain with the coach standing in ultimately costs them. You feel that's a bit of a freebie as your opener. But this means a lot to NIP. We've spoken about it once, we'll speak about it again. In their journey back to the upper echelon.
Наливай водку. Нету денег. Нету денег, Никита.
some funny rounds as well. Hotu, they definitely brought their own game. Nuke, however, not a map that lends itself to their
Dukun to'g'riz keldilar. Lampada aytdi.
Really the exception to the rule.
Mizu 11, Yuku 15. Ta Mizular Yuku. Bedrin ko'rdadilar hep. Kinlar oynuyorlar o'xshaydi deyman. Yuku da Mizu. Men ko'ribman. Duke человек погода, он говорит, когда вот букарта катаньява, когда вот. Лампада вот беха шидуга нявта, беха шидуга нявта. Набе настроение так было, не настроение, которое берег надо было, настроение берег надо было. Бегон хаян, когда хаян и не айкады. Шидуга нявта. Вот там вот стабат, man كم على كده بيت. وتقدلان بيخاين بعدين كنت درجة منطقة وطن كنت نبغى الله إلى أتن كمان ترى شهر اللدو أتاخدو.
Do you think it would be cool?
أولا شانس بارتا.
A little icon that showed if it was a clutch, like anything 1v2 or greater, like no 1v1s wouldn't count.
أصلا لوتشا.
The clutch on the timeline. Do you think that would be cool? Or irrelevant?
Well, I think clutches tend to be swing rounds, right? So they will help inform. I think the thing that you need.
إيه زكينا بيجي زودك. Easy والله. سمدرات هنا تعني إذا قلت تنبه.
Because even if it's 1v2 that completely creates.
أرتضي دوين نكنايت. كده.
Cover from a buyback against. Right? So 1v2 it's still important rounds, but they're not all built the same, right? In a real close economical affair, a 1v2 can be worth 3.
لا تبي.
So yeah, look, I think nice little series from NIP.
Yeah, they can't complain about that one. That's good, and they'll survive the night. They'll get to that last day of group play where they'll put themselves in that last
2-2 game.
2-2.
Yes. So this look, I think we can start to devise just maybe who they'll be playing against. So the of Odik will go down to the 2-2 game. Yeah. The winner of Big G2, our next game, the winner of MIBR Pain, game later today, and then the loser of Navi Aurora and the loser of Australis Spirit will all be in the 2-2. So between a bunch of those names, you'll kind of Rubik's Cube your matches, and you'll get yourself, 3 games that'll be going down tomorrow, the final day of group play. But we're done here for now. We'll be back. G2 coming up next. PGL Astana 2025. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go, Taz.
Побуга турик будет на этой неделе, не знаю. Дикий опыт, бедах. Когда? Наравно нятла где-то, наравно нятла. Постигну бедая карта, паного нятла. Икисну вис карта, это вот матч. Чудо нятла. Ажа туриктарга сага молодой таланлары тахар. Мынак молодой таланлар балары. Отадылар. 2 теңге стресс. Ол 2 теңгеге эмхар гутаз диздриник. Инина айкыды. Давай через дрова.
There's no chicken in the middle for sure.
Yes, exactly. No chickens on H. Find us the next piece. What else has changed?
Yem kel yakınada. Okunu vata. Yem kel dentui.
I think there is no color.
Kız turgon var.
The door is green?
Yeah, normally what color is it?
Кыз турнир среди бабгеров можно принцип. Но не для всех. Кыз турнирга эн маннык 3 карта турниргар. 3 карта турнир булахана кас минута барар. Кас час барар холов. Мана холовор 2 картка 2 час. 2 картканы 2 часка дейт почти ди. Aşağı günün canım barda günü bu olarak bunlar da kompüterge olur. Ebe komanda var bulan. Bir komanda o 2 komanda 2 ças oynuyor bulan. 2 ças oynuyor bulan. Günü bu olarak bunlar da.
The box is correct. One more now.
One more. This is a little bit trickier. Let me see. What could it be?
And this one, it's hidden. But maybe you can understand it.
Up here. Bro, you stream insane. Let's get you Тора. Спасибо, bro.
Yeah, I was
thinking
the arrow on the right that is not supposed to be here. Right?
Bro, maybe the
A plus A,
I don't know. Oh, yes, I see it now, James. It's the wrong bump side, of course.
Yes.
That's a tricky one. That's a good one. We're going to B, of course.
Hit it away. Yeah, we're not going to A.
Көз өнерге орын веститинг типа часан оруханада. Ото умчи так болне бары ухала хирой.
Yes.
It's B.
It's B.
Okay.
We're trying to
Читак ахрб. Биха даганы хакалага даганы.
That's true.
Балнучлага дандохя.
Actually, that was a good one.
You actually cooked yourself by being like,
Акабарадар дагын бутонно.
just looking right at it. I can't, yep.
Күндө ахрада дагын юлдары.
Yeah, well, now it makes sense.
Күндө дарман. А?
Балдар эти инараса карл.
Да. Идивать. Радардах оню жонда билбеттер бу. Читахды бу баттар бу. Бли, кенеге репорт бартакына арада жаннырга банаватыр бу да, банларды. Ал бакты мына беле.
По идее баннаных табулу намар. Аны ойнолорун көттө боласылы дем. Дак көтөң алылды инди он тугай бите. Уолттер эди. Эти тапатта болор он тугай дер читриле бекели. Көтөң алыр.
Кая куда атак буду мына дем барам удьеблок. Удьёпта, нятым. Я думаю. Никита аспар качы пата. Айкын. Это адырнот, шевай. Көсү кадери. Бар топун онюм дальше. Ким дебе? Одни из нас. Битарам спики. Бирай спики акаумут. Тебя.
Одни из нас онюдан.
Ага.
Экенда.
Ага.